Good karts hitting the track here. Practice right now. Hot laps for an interesting show. Oh, well, now we were talking all day when he was going to show up, and then I believe that's number 91 back there, isn't it? With the green with the black hood. Let's see. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Indianapolis Speedrome. We are live worldwide right now at speedrome.tv, as well as on our YouTube channel for the freebie part of things. A few folks coming into the stands. Thank y'all. I know we had to jump the schedule a little bit as we ran into a whole lot of Mother Nature last night. Management decided to call it before the folks had to make the trip out, so hopefully that makes it a little bit easier on everybody. But we are live right now at the racetrack and ready to rock this one out, starting with some hot laps for the junior fast karts.
Yeah, good to have everyone here on Sunday afternoon. I know it's not always everybody's favorite, but, you know, sometimes that just works out. It's better than not racing at all, for sure. A lot of people spend a lot of time all week getting these vehicles ready to come race, so it's good to see them to get a chance to get out on the track this weekend. Got a great show on tap for us today, starting here with the junior fast karts, the first one out for practice.
Out on the track right now, it's going to have the number 71 machine of Alexander Palmer. Got a chance to talk to him earlier, along with his sister, Adeline Palmer. Now, Alexander claims that he is the better racer, and she crashes more. So just so you know, sibling rivalry at its finest.
Yeah, both in their first year out here at the Speedrome,
Yep.
so good to see them have someone to set their sights against as they race each week.
Also out there on the track, the bright green number 17, the little man Cameron Melson coming up from Greenwood, Indiana. One young lady doing very well here in 2025, and that's number 12 machine of Kylie Gully. Now, crusty old veteran, strange to call that somebody who's still in middle school. Now, she is, however, on the high school cheer team, but she's still in middle school. That's the 64 machine of Peyton Reidner. Now, one of the big points here that we've got going on with these junior fast karts is leading the points right now, Corbin West. I mean, talk about a kid fast, furious, and winning. And he's just having a heck of a season. As we've seen having a couple spinning issues out there on the track.
Yeah, also out there in this group, the 27 of James Rogers. We got the 20 of Underwood there, who's one of our top rookies so far this year.
Colton Mason, number 26 back there.
Easton Underwood, excuse me.
Easton, yep.
Out in this group. So good mix of first-year drivers and veteran class runners.
Now, I was joking with Easton. His dad is over there running the factory front-wheel drive. How the deal was that Colton was doing so much better Easton was doing so much better than Dad.
Yeah.
He says, well, I could keep my foot on the floor the whole way around. He can't do that yet. So I told him, well, maybe we could teach him. And he's going to take that under advisement.
Yeah, that's interesting. Both in their first full seasons here at the Speedrome, and father and son type of deal. So I imagine that's a pretty cool family dynamic coming to the racetrack each week, both experiencing things for the first time together and out here having fun. So that's pretty cool. That was our first group of Circle City Pyrotechnics Junior Fast Karts. We're going to send the next wave out, as Tori mentioned, up in the mid-30s in juniors so far here today, which is sounds like a lot, but it's actually quite the norm for the junior fast karts here. Mm-hmm.
They've been rocking out to 30 to, basically close to 35 almost every single show here in 2025.
I think 39 was our high so far this season. That was on a Friday night, but we've been, hovering around that 35, 36. Got a few youngsters back who've missed a few weeks. We'll point them out when they get here. Out for this session, we got another good batch of youngsters. Got the Ross brothers, Brian and Nick out there. Brian in the 62, Nick in the 60. Trenton Bliss out there in the 36. We've got the 09 of Lily Drago, the 87 of Brooklyn Vinegar, the 28 of Balin Arthur. There's Audrey Jade Freeze out there in the 90, as well as the Hargraves brothers, Mason and Walker.
In fact, that's going to be we got the whole triple there of the Hargraves here tonight, as Father Charlie's got his Outlaw out with us here tonight.
And busy time for Charlie in the pits with 3 cars to work on.
3 cars well, I think Nathan Arthur's got him beat because he's got the whole fleet of junior fast karts, and he came prepared with his legend car tonight.
Yeah.
And that's going to be one of the interesting points is going to be Legend car turnout. Holy cow. Big field of legend cars so far in attendance. Busy, but a big race for those guys here today.
Yeah, it's the second annual Drake Wood Memorial Race. We lost Drake last year, and we have a lot of great folks that like to turn out and help out for this today. So a lot of great bonus money awards up for the Drake Wood race. We want to thank all the folks that contributed to that. We'll run over those names as we get throughout the night leading up to that event. So it's great to see that car count in support of Drake here today for the legend cars.
Hey, who's my fast cat now? Nick Ross, fast on the track, 16,107. There you go.
Yeah, Nick's got a little pressure on him. You know, he won a feature early in the year, and his brother Brian has now won 2. So now the ball's in Nick's court to see if he can equal up with his brother in that little family rivalry.
So some of you folks may be checking in here live on the feed or the TV program, whichever you may be. Now we are open here right now doing practice. Go through practice until about 2:40 or so, and then start racing at 3. Go kick it right into features only. Other than the fact that we will be doing some B features probably needed for the legend cars at this point. So mine is going to be based on, I believe, the practice times.
Yeah, the legend cars are going to use the second round as their hot lap qualifying, and that's going to lock in some guys into the A and then everybody else into the B. So important second session. So this first session will be important for them to sort of work the bugs out and get the tune-up set up for that second round. So
reminder in the pit area there, especially legend cars, your second hot lap session will be setting your qualifying time. You want to make sure you're out there for it, and you want to make sure you're ready to go. So again, reminder in the pit area, legend cars, your second qualifying session will be setting your qualifying time, second hot lap session setting qualifying time, and that'll be determined who's going to have to run the B and who's going to be going straight into the A. So far, about half the junior fast carts have been out for their practice, so we'll be seeing another wave heading out here as soon as we clear one junior off the track that lost steam there coming off of turn 2. Is that the Ice Queen? It is. Tough break there for Fraze.
Well, hopefully that's the only bad luck of the day. If you're going to have it there in the first practice, I guess would be the time to have it.
She's about 9th quick out of the 17, so right in the mid-pack there, 17-second laps there.
Maybe the chain or something popped off there, and hopefully they can get that hop back on. So they're checking the track real quick before they turn this next wave of Circle City Pyrotechnics Junior Fast Carts out for their test session.
For you folks coming in the stands, we do have you outside turn 3 of the oval. The Hoosier Lottery tent is set up. Hoosier Lottery is here today. We're glad to have you come on over and check things out. The Hoosier Lottery tent outside turn 3. And especially you folks come in as Legend Car fans, we do have a special run of Legend Car, Speedrome Legend Car t-shirts at the Indy Screen Print trailer outside of turn 1, the north end of the main grandstand. So just a thought there, a couple things going on. Other than that, festival seating all around. No smoking or alcoholic beverages in front of Mike Heimel's auction service sign. Otherwise, Miss Leslie's going to have to come out and beat you with her umbrella. But glad to have you come on out and have some fun. You folks staying at home, try to make a decision. Clearing up to the west of us, fingers crossed, but it's all we can do this time of year and the way Mother Nature's been. But it's looking pretty good. The chances of more precipitation gradually just decreasing as we go through the day.
Out in this third session here is the number 1 machine of Jared Gully, the 88 of a feature winner from last time out, Lola Arthur, the 26G of Emily Garr, the 69 of Levi McDonough, the 13 of Bentley Applegate. There's your points leader, the 02 of Corbin West. Cohen West also out there in the 33. KK Hargraves in the 31. We see the return of Mason Summers in the 14 machine. All those drivers out here in this group here.
Racing Mason coming off a broken arm that's still in a cast now, but doctors say he can go racing again. So
yeah, good to see him back. He got off to a great start for the season before that injury outside of here happened. And cost him a
for
few
Snake
weeks.
there, turn number 4, McDonough. Did a little clippy out there and a spinny. And I think it's stalled on, so we may have to go out and get him off the track.
Yeah, it looks like he's held up. We're going to have
to bring out the red, try to get everybody stopped here, and go fetch the 69.
Yeah, at first I thought he was just looking for an opening there to turn down in, but I think it's going to need the old pull start.
Yep.
We'll send the track official over there to give that a pull and send Snake back on his way. Good-looking ride right there you see on your YouTube channel feed or your Speedrome TV feed.
One of the new kids on the block. Got a couple of them new here. Well, actually, quite a few new ones here in 2025 as this division continues growing. Clark squad, there we go. Texas Dan out there checking in. Outlaw figure eights on the card here tonight, as well as a huge turnout of legend cars for the Drakewood Memorial. Stockers also get a chance to shine with their solo features and factory front wheel drive. So
there he goes.
Full skate McDonough back rolling again.
We'll get that track truck off there and turn these youngsters loose again to complete their round of practice. Probably one more wave of these juniors left here to complete the first round of practice. And then next up will be the factory front wheel drive machines. They'll be up next in our rotation of practice.
Quick run one down. We got take a quick peek at the rankings for the Circle City Pyrotechnics. It's Corbin West on top of it. He's out there in the 0-2 ride, or in the earlier group. Leads the points right now. Bentley Applegate second in points on the track right now in the blue with orange numbered 13 on the side.
He's had a great, solid season.
He has some constant, regular top 3 finishes. Oh,
yeah.
Big turnaround for Bentley, too. He'd had just a season or two of some bad luck, tough breaks, but this year the team has definitely got it together. Chris Britton Jr. catching fire now after a bit off pace there in the first couple of runs. Hits third in points. Brian Ross, fourth there. And KK Hargraves, another one that we don't realize. She's on track right now in blue and black 31 machine, fifth in points. So a nice little run there for a couple of the juniors. And we're seeing the top in points in that first heat. Middle section of points there in the second. And the kids still working the way through the points structure, the points tower here at the Speedrome. Be in the third heat in their 3 features.
And with so many youngsters every week out here in the junior Faskarts, it's tough to get into that top 10, let alone even in the top 20 in the standings, you know.
Yep.
Great racing going on, 3 features every week. And as we bring up most every time we're on here, you can't sleep on these kart features whatsoever. They're down to the wire and exciting stuff.
Yep.
I know some of you take time to make your pit stop during that, but I tell you what, you're missing some great racing out there with these junior Faskarts each and every time they hit the track.
And at least what's been fun is that, as we've been noting all season long, on down the road, you'll be seeing them in the Legends, you'll be seeing them in the other divisions, you'll be seeing them on other tracks all over the place. Nice little learning place, good place to start.
So far, speed-wise, it's the West teammates up top with Cohen West and Corbin West first and second, Bentley Applegate, Mason Hargraves, and KK Hargraves rounding out your top 5 so far through these 3 groups. Here comes the 4th wave out on track, the 4th and final wave of junior Faskarts.
That should be about enough, and there you go, Giovanni Rice in the number 7. Another one, new kids, 42 of Caden Gully. Back out in the black number 42. Who else am I missing this?
44 of Mr. Exciting.
There we go.
Swinford.
Colton Swinford, ladies and gentlemen, in the house.
The 19 of Nora Hughes is out there during this practice. Billy Pittman the second. Giovanni Rice also out there.
0 Nora. Now the Hughes clan coming out of the junior fast cars had a pretty good little record out there.
Yeah.
Had Alexa climbing through quickly and moving on up. So
yeah.
Billy Pittman in 38. He's got a couple wins here in his career, and then of course some great runs out of the 4 and the machine of
Ryan Crouch.
Crouch's timeout.
RJ out here in his first full season,
and the 14 also doing pretty good. He's been having some fun there. Levi Smith,
winner last time out. So still another great group. You know, we haven't seen our guy Chris Britton Jr. yet. Have
not. Nope. And like I said, he's got top spot in points at this point.
Yeah,
chance to
he'll be here today. Sometimes on these Sundays, you know, the folks, you know, finish up some family stuff before they get out here.
Now, I do have one correction. I was corrected on. Apparently, caused a bit of controversy. Cheyenne Clark. It's her dad who retired and is able to get her to the track on time now. So I do stand. I apologize for that, Dad. Did not mean to get it wrong.
Have we started a nickname for him now? They're going to call him Grandpa since we started.
He just about. Yeah. Well, that's what they were doing to him. That's why I got called out on it there. So, yeah, he did correct me on that one. And it looks like we spun Swinford down there. One spot on the racetrack that you can face the right way and not go anywhere, and that's just on the inside of that rumble.
Yeah, they were racing in a pack right there, and it looked like his rear end got to bouncing just a little bit, and those carts right behind him just barely tapped him, and around he went. And as you mentioned, he's sort of butted up against that speed bump there. So even if his kart's still running, he's going to be able to go nowhere because, of course, they have no reverse gear in these karts.
Nope.
So get a little hand reverse there from the track official and back him up, and Swinford, I'm sure, will take off.
I believe that's also about the first time he's taken his foot off the gas since we've ever. And that's going to put the checkers on that as a last. They give him about 7 laps per session, 7 laps per round of practice here for these guys. Got a lot of cars to get through, so they're going to get about 7 laps of practice for each session they come out. Each one's allowed to have 1 appearance per the 2 sessions they're scheduled, and the play-by-ear if they open up the track to do some more track maintenance, so to speak. As you can see, those who are checking in, taking a look at it, we are having an issue with dampness on the track. A lot of us that's been here at Speedrome for years know that this ground is, well, basically it was 85 years ago before they built this place. It was basically some old swampland and just a little truck farm out here. And we drained the swamp, not as well as we did in Washington, but we drained the swamp and put a track on top of it. There is an issue every now and then that, especially when we've had regular and heavy precipitation, that this groundwater will hold some
I'd
water.
love to know how many different people have raced here since we've been here.
Lordy.
I mean, just it's amazing for turning the swampland into a racetrack and making so much fun for generations of families over the years.
Yep. Used to have a little creek run through the place and everything, but no, we got a pond.
Yeah. Next up out here is the Jiffy Lube of Indiana Factory Front-Wheel Drive Division. Coming out for their first practice session here today.
Doug Underwood out there, number 17. We saw his son earlier there, who's had much more success in 2025 than Dad had.
We got the 333 there.
Up
Zach
the hatch.
Hall.
Yep.
Yeah. We got the 000, the points leader.
Raiden Eversole. That's another one that just kind of stopped and like, wait a minute. Raiden Eversole lead the points.
Yeah.
I think he just had his first win last year, didn't he?
Yeah, it's not been too long. He's doing a nice job, though, this year, putting up some great finishes and winning races.
Uh-oh, Mama Riding on the warpath. Look out.
Also, we've got the who else we got out there right now?
61 of Catron, the 177 of Pittman.
Dylan Dupler.
Dupler in the house.
Yeah, Jacob Daniels is in the 177 today.
Oh, dang, I keep forgetting that. Yeah, that's Billy's boy.
They switch back and forth there.
Yeah, I know. I keep throwing him in that. Billy's been running the bigger cars here lately.
Yeah, Jessica Bush out there in the 51 machine.
Jaden Steele back in his number 13. I think that's the cats we got on.
Yeah, we'll see if we got another wave of these cars to come out. But because we know we seen earlier Kyle Bird out there in the 55 when we were finishing drying the track.
Yep, the return of Kyle Bird is a chance to talk about him later on, but it's fun seeing him back out here. He was very much a big part of this division throughout its early days. He's just a little baby-faced guy out of Beech Grove. Mom coming, well, his prime pit crew was his mom.
Yeah.
You know, Candy was taking care of him up here. I think but since then he's developed quite a bit. Got his own little pit crew now. These self-made pit crew out there because he's got his boy Bentley and the other kids out there helping him out.
Yeah, and
all
he's been
three
getting
of them
into racing and doing a good job.
Bentley is tearing him up. He's been out there. He's got him a Ford. He runs out the dirt track. Looking forward to seeing Bentley out here. Apparently they got them a factory front-wheel drive.
Nice.
Multiple championships and wins in the quarter midgets and the like, and in some of the other open wheel classes. So Bentley Bird has been a fun, and then the rest of the kids also racing. So
also out here in this group, the 61 machine of Junior Catron. Former Rookie of the Year in the division. Good to see him out.
Yep, Rookie of the Year one season, and old timers next.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, you pass that rookie year, you're a veteran out here now. Got a few more front-wheel drives here to sneak out the second half of that pack. Stay tuned. Coming up after them, we'll see the first of our Legend cars out here.
Yep. Legend cars to follow. Legend cars to follow the factory front-wheel drives. Legend cars, you'll be up after the factory front-wheel drives. And there is Travis Harmon in the number 94 machine. There is Kyle Bird in the orange, and that's almost like a cream-colored 55.
Yeah.
Going for his own tone.
Kind of a hatchback deal there.
It is. Let's see. The Snappers in attendance, of course. Chris Snapper should be in the number 5. And we talk about him in practice and bragging on the boy in the number 41 machine. Summers family in the house.
Yeah, Jalen, a fresh graduate of the Junior Fast Kart division. now up into the front-wheel drives, coming off his career best finish so far in the front-wheel drives of second last time out on the Kidney Bean
And
course.
look who is back.
Who we got, Tori?
In the number 33, it's girl power in the house. Kimmy Gregg returns to the factory front-wheel drive division here at the Indianapolis Speedrome.
Nice. I heard rumor of that this week, but you know how rumors go around a racetrack. You know, until you see it. There she is, Kimmy Gregg out on track.
Oh, I know. I'd be a father many times over if all the rumors were true. But, yeah, Kimmy Gregg is back with us. Now, you can tell, obviously, this is almost a prototype machine there as it's got none of the familiar Gregg colors on it.
Yeah, Kimmy, they've been working on, do know her CRA street stock quite a bit, and she's waiting to make that debut. So I think she's just been getting the itch to get out to go racing, and they put this front-wheel drive together for her to come out and get back behind the wheel here on Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, where's she at so far? Still some slow laps of 16.539. Not even close to where she needs to be, but I guess she's got to start out small. Fast cat so far has been Zachary Hall in the hatch.
Hey, and he means it. It's all caps.
It is. All caps for Zachary. So we take a nice look at the 55 of Kyle Bird there going past there. Turn number 1 for Bird. Now, Bird, once again, is an old veteran of this division, going back to the early days of this division.
Yeah, Kyle, some of you people that have been around here in the last few years probably don't recognize his name here from the action here at the Speedrome. But
he and Justin Brown and Dave Mel, some of the others used to run together. Then a bunch of them went off to the Vors series. Kyle then started making babies and turned them into race car drivers.
Kyle with 17 career feature wins here in the front-wheel drive division here at the Speedrome. So no stranger to success here. Also a contender when we used to have the big events all the time around here. You couldn't count him out in that. So great to have him back.
Had a peek of the 5 of Chris Snap 41 machine.
He's up in the hunt for the championship standing so far this season.
I know a couple new names on top of the points charts there. We're not used to seeing, so it's going to be a neat little change up. 2025 is ended up being a year of change here for Speedrome in a lot of ways.
Yeah. Yeah, some fresh faces battling for points in the front-wheel drive division. It's really nice to see. And that looks like that'll wrap it up for the factory front-wheel drives in their first round of practice. So, as we mentioned, legend cars, here they come. The Bruce Litton Trailer Sales Legend. Today, again, it's the Drake Wood Memorial 54. So we'll have 2 features here today for them. We'll have a B main, and then we'll have the 54 lapper for the big race here tonight. Last year, Cody Bullock won the Drake Wood race.
Now, going to make an all-family deal on these teams. The Woods old car, the 54 machine, be driven by Danny Adams.
Yeah, Danny, Corey's brother.
Corey's brother there. Corey's still leading the points in this division, but boy, it's big fields all around here in the legend cars all season long. John Robbins returns in number 19. Had not seen him for a while.
No, I seen him on Race Monitor last night. He was in the Fords at Anderson Speedway last night, as a matter of fact. So good to see John, a former winner of the Marty Griffin Memorial race out here.
Now the other one, okay, it's Abe Puckett. Okay, the 7 machine is actually a 777 Abe Puckett. He's been with us a couple times now the last couple of years. We know that one. Dean Bradshaw in the number 12, super fan Dean Bradshaw. And then we have it here that struck me as 96. There we go. Alex Phillips in the 96. I was thinking it might have been John Phillips, but I think he gave up his ride.
Yeah, Alex has only been here a time or two, I believe, so good to see him out here for this. Who else we got out there for this round? Tyler Lawton out there in the 26.
Yep.
Aiden Roth out there in the 56. And again, the Danny Adams deal. Danny was the first ever winner out here in our Mini Outlaw division.
Mini Outlaws division, yep. Very first.
He's not run very much in the Legend car, but he wanted to make sure and support today, and he's actually driving the Drake Wood machine out there. So very cool out of that Buddy Motorsports team to put him behind the wheel.
Again, to you fans there, don't forget we got the Hoosier Lottery outside of turn 3. You want to pop on down and visit the Hoosier Lottery booth, the Hoosier Lottery tent down there in turn number 3. And again, if you folks in the pits especially, but also in the stands as we move on through, we've got those special Speedrome Legend shirts available over at the Indy Screen Print trailer. I want to do a shout out there. William Clark there checking us out. Of course, I already said hi to Texas Dan. Jeremy Huff, one of our regulars from Mooresville, and our buddy Larry Hammonds. Look for more. If you're on board, you could please subscribe so we can reach out to you better. Let us know what we can do for you on the YouTube channel, but we are also live right now at speedrome.tv, and they're watching us coast to coast and pole to pole, and to all the ships at sea.
Might have 4 groups of these as well.
I'll tell you.
Tori, with this big a field. Trying to give them a little space to get them some good hot laps in here.
Yep.
As we mentioned, when they return for their second round of practice, those times will be important today. And speaking of times after this first group, your point leader and reigning series champion Corey Adams is on top. Last year's runner-up in points, Zachary Brady, is second so far. The veteran John Robbins. And then it's Danny Adams and Abe Puckett rounding out the top 5 here in the first group of Legend cars, presented by the Bruce Litton Trailer Sales folks.
Bruce Litton himself over there with Landon Hoffman once again, his grandson, that kind of got Bruce back into it. Bruce is, of course, one of the very first Legend car teams we had out there when this division began back, good Lord.
30 years ago.
Oh, just showing our age.
Yeah.
And he was one of the very first group there that we had and traveling around with. He then decided he wanted to go drag racing for a while, but he did have his daughter out there racing with him for a little bit. Was actually one of the last or first of the junior legend
races.
The junior legend races
Beat
out
a
there.
young man one day named Ed Carpenter.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I seem to remember.
Junior feature race
yeah.
wins.
Yeah. So everybody wants to put together the Indy Speedrome connection.
Yeah. Speaking of Landon, he's one of the first ones out in this group. Also, welcome back the 8E of Eddie Falls Knight. And then there's the 84 of Xavier King, the 3 of Kevin Brooks. There's Kristen Hammer out in the 4 machine. Matthew Benzenbauer in the 01. Ryan Krugler in the 19. Kenny Hacker out there in the 8 machine. And the 35 of Max Olmstead II. So,
and Max coming off a big win down at the festival. We've got a spinner already. Foss Knight in the number 8 ride takes a bit of a run. Foss Knight's one that's been buddied up and old friends with Kristen Hammer. Kristen coming off just a phenomenal season for her.
Yeah, last time out here in the Legends, she had her Speedrome best finish of 3rd in the main event, and also made her mini Outlaw debut the week later. So Kristen liked to carry some momentum into the Drake Wood race here today.
Well, she's sitting 4th in points. That's another one that makes you stop and think. I completely space. I keep thinking Corey Adams leading the points in this division because it just seems right. But Xavier King actually a couple ticks ahead of Corey right now.
Which he was the champion 2 years ago.
Yep.
So he and Corey are going to have a good battle up there.
They are. Then Corey Adams and James Van Over. There's a nice, interesting note. Kristen Adams and Johnny Weaver.
Yeah.
One of my little buds can keep an eye out. Sits 5th in points.
Yeah, just an amazing growth of this class over the last few years, a resurgent. Now we're just regularly having these 30-car fields when, we hadn't had a 30-car field in decades out here at the Speedrome, probably since the 90s. And then now we have them on a regular basis, so it's just amazing. And leading up to this first major event of the season for them, and, of course, later on we have a national qualifier during Brickyard Weekend and expect to have a ton of cars for. So a lot of exciting things here for the Legend division here at the Speedrome presented by Bruce Linton Trailer Sales. Now, after 18 cars on the track, Corey still stands atop, but Max Olmstead has moved into the 2nd position. Brady slid down to 3rd. Kevin Brooks now in at 4th fastest, and John Robbins rounding out the top 5 in speed so far, about halfway through the group of cars.
18 so far, taking some hot laps. And Scott reminds you the second session will be key for these guys to get their good times in. So this is where you shake it down, and your qualifying times will be taken in your second practice session.
Here comes the 3rd wave of Bruce Linton Trailer Sales Legend cars out. We'll see who we got here. First up, we have the 15 machine of Tim Skinner Jr. Then it's the 72 of Chase Penrod, the 15B of Billy Bart Jr., the 27 of Travis Cooper. Also out in this group, we have, looks like the 11 machine of Ashton Morello. And then it's the 24 machine of Johnny Weaver, the 85 of Garrett Fox, the 51 of Braylon Etter, your reigning junior fast kart champion. And here we go for this wave. this is an interesting mix. We have some of the people that have just moved up into this division, some of the veterans also.
Got my man Johnny Weaver still looking for that elusive win here this year.
Yeah, been super fast each and every week. He's just had awful luck. Was leading the last time out, and the car he was racing with for the lead broke the suspension on the right front, and of course drove into Weaver's car, and just nothing he could do about that, and unfortunately put him out.
Another one's having a tough learning station has been that orange number 27 of Cooper, Travis Cooper. Had more. These cars are tricky little things to learn. As a lot of these guys, even the ones coming in from whatever division you want, whether they be for the local stuff in the stock car, which is you got to learn how to drive a lightweight car with the high power ratio. If you're used to driving the open wheels or whatever, you might be actually transition a little quicker because these are very low weight, very high powered, and they can get away from you in a heartbeat. That's as simple as that.
Yeah, and the fastest way to drive them is actually to drive them on edge.
Yep.
You know, to drive them, it seems like farther than they're supposed to be, faster than they're supposed to be running, but that's just the way to get the best out of these cars. You can just run them as hard as you can, but as you mentioned, the lightweight per power ratio is pretty tight when you run these legend cars. And it adds a lot of skill to you for whatever you're going to do, whether you're going to stay in these cars or forever or move up to another division. Great driving skills to learn.
Still Corey Adams atop the speed chart. Max Olmstead, Johnny Weaver up to third quick at a 13.831. So there you go. Garrett Fox surprised me. He's been slow stepping there up on the top of the groove. He actually set the fourth quickest lap of the day so far.
Yeah, and actually this is Garrett, who won 3 times last year. His first night out in the Legends in 2025. He's been concentrating on the Mini Outlaw, and his dad James said, hey, you want to run my car? And Garrett said, absolutely. And
there you go.
He actually had the track rented this week to do some testing in it, but it happened to be one of those nights that it got rained out. So he didn't get to even test this car. So this was actually the first practice session he's had in this machine here in 2025, and so far looks really good.
So let's see, is this the last of our legends? If so, we may see the 2025 debut, or I guess we would have to call it the debut of a new car for Speedrome and a driver we haven't seen in quite some time. Let's see what happens here.
I think there's a few more legends.
There's another one. Okay, we'll have to wait. We'll just tease you a little bit.
Yeah, because us moving to Sunday, we actually caught somebody, gave them a chance to run here today who wasn't planning on being here last night, and he'll be out here in this last group.
There's been a couple in that boat here, so it's kind of interesting. So, and here's just an explanation. If you're coming in cold, didn't catch the memo, had rain last night. Track management decided to call it early. In other words, postpone this to the next day, and this will be a features-only special run here today because everybody knows that, by gum, we got to watch that Pacer game later on tonight.
Okay, out here in this group, we have the one machine of Logan Anderson.
Woo!
We have the 81 of Nathan Arthur.
Yep.
We have the 94V of Douglas Vanover. And the guy I was leaning to is the 20 of Dalton Connor.
Dalton Connor, there you go.
He wasn't going to be here last night, but was able to make it since the race got moved to Sunday, so good to see him out there.
Nate Franklin in the 07, I believe it is, or 87.
Yeah,
and
he's
then
out there.
Now I got to ask which one of the Dickey family do we have in the 33s? We'll take a look at it right there. Let's see, can they see over the steering wheel?
It should be Colin.
Yeah, Colin's out here. I hear got some practice on the track here.
Yeah, he ran with us once so far. Last year's runner-up in the Junior Fast Kart Series. Of course, Dad Brad ran in this race last year, this Drake Wood Memorial race. So turning the reins over to Colin. Going to have one heck of a B main here trying to get into this A main here tonight for sure.
This is, because let's see, the game plan is
18 cars are going to lock in.
Yep.
And then the rest of the machines will be in the B main.
And then the next one, 18 lock in. Everybody else is going to run top 5 transfer and be one from the highest 10 points, not yet in. So there will be a provisional for highest 10 points not yet in.
Yeah, we started that a couple of races ago. It's been kind of nice working out. You know, you're up in the points. You have a little trouble maybe in the early preliminary action, and sort of a mulligan for you there.
There you go.
For supporting the series and things like that. So.
Any changes out of this group? Dalton Connor up to 5th quick. I think his only change, 13.8. So let's see, 18th. That's time for the 18th spot there, 14.138. So you're looking to have to beat at least a 14-1, looks like, to make the starting 18. Everybody else going into the B.
But, Tori, that's only like 4/10.
Yep.
From first to 18th. So there's going to be no messing around in this second session for these legend cars. They're going to have to get out here and get after it because you try to sandbag around, trying to move your position around. Next thing you know, you're going to be in the B main. So you've got to come out here and give it your all, in that practice session. And we've got some pretty heavy hitters across the top of the board at the end of that practice.
Yep, Stucky.
Adams, Olmstead, Connor, Garrett Fox.
Okay.
Tons of good ones as we now head for the street stock.
And a new car in the street stock division, and it's not new overall. Tell me this number 91 came out of Jeffersonville, and they said something about being a River Stream oval car, which I think may mean that they pulled it out of the river, I think. It's one of the issues. Behind the wheel, though, I tell you what, he's one we've had a lot of fun with over the decades now. One of the old timers in the Roadrunner division and others.
Yeah, one of the original
Roadrunners. Oh, Henry McDougal. This is old Henry McDougal now.
Yeah, that'd be senior.
Now, I'll let you know, before walked to the pits earlier, I did offer him a tube of my nitro pills just in case.
Well, he's going to get thrown into the mix right here as he's got some heavy hitters bearing down on him right out of the start. The points leader, Kevin Smith.
Yep. Another one of his old friends from the Roadrunner division, Josh Garr, who came along later.
Yep.
Kenny McDonough, 23 machine, the 177 Billy Pittman. Jerry Johnson, who's running. Well, Jerry Johnson goes back to the time
before that.
Yep.
He was the old Nova Days street stock guy.
Yep, 92. Oh, boy, there goes the voice. 92 of Rex Cox III. 44 of both a couple guys that weren't even born, I think, when hit. No, Rex was not.
No, for sure. Kyle Summers probably wasn't.
Kyle Summers. And the 15, he was around older Billy Bart in the 15 stocker.
Yeah.
Now, the other footnote is points leader Kevin Smith.
Oh, easy, O. Henry.
Oh,
caught
he's
some
right
concrete down here in the front stretch.
And that's going to bring out the red. So early out there, and he's back in.
I caught the end of that, Tori. It looked like, maybe the back end got loose a little bit, a little overcorrecting. Caught the fence there as he got it up to speed and able to pull away there. And we're going to immediately go back to green here.
I guess. Okay, no hurt, no foul.
He may have popped one of those nitro pills now.
I guess so.
I'm sure he's awake now.
Yep.
After hitting the concrete, he was checking if the concrete moved.
Yeah, he white walled him, and I got white smoke coming in, so that means either no pope or he's got problems.
We just got a new pope, so I'm guessing the problems would be the issue on that. As he and
now drifts way up the top of the racetrack, and I think at this point I've got a couple of stockers there somewhat intimidated.
Yeah. Henry may be. All the newfound stuff on these cars since he last raced, the GPS and all that good stuff. He's got to check on there as Kenny McDonough and others make their way past him on the backstretch.
Definitely some handling issues. The car just will not stay down the bottom of the racetrack.
Yeah, guys are definitely staying away as they were heading toward him down there at that end.
Kyle Summers, our fast cat, though, 14.6. Oh, wait a minute, just prove me a liar. Kevin Smith just gave us a 14.4. This was kind of hanging back there till the last lap.
Yeah, I think him getting caught up there in traffic kind of slowed that previous lap, and he was able to get out there. But good to see Kyle Summers with a nice speed. A few weeks back, Mark Eads Jr. drove that car, and we talked about how much Mark was helping them with the setup and things and Kyle had a nice run going in the last event, led some laps in that. Before falling back a few places and getting a nice finish. But Kyle and them folks have definitely improved that car after making that combination with Mark Eads a few races back. Billy Pittman out there in the 177, making his second appearance of 2025.
And he's another one now, hands full. He's got 3 cars to take care of back there. He's got his stocker.
Yeah.
He's got Jacob Daniels' factory front-wheel drive, and he's got the little –
hands are full. Yep. Good thing he's got 10 fingers on the wheel there.
Yeah, he's got all 10.
Here comes our next wave of street stockers out, and it begins with the 0 machine of the veteran Donnie Scurry.
Oh, number 3 machine of Mr. Gonda returns.
Yep, he's had a good season so far. There's the 52 machine of Justin Green, the wagon.
22 of Scotty Keene into house.
Yeah, up there, I think second or third in the point standings, having a good year so far. And there's your rookie leader, the 98 of Josh Mann. And the 68 of Adam Sims, who was a fast qualifier at one of our memorial races a few events back. The 77 machine of our good buddy there, Daryl Emanuel.
Once again, claims this is his swan song, his final season.
Yeah.
Going to get him a camper.
Nice. 16 cars so far taking time, so a great Sunday afternoon stock car field.
Yep, and we're going to need, we're already getting ready for Outlaw Figure 8. Outlaw Figure 8, Outlaw Figure 8 practice up next. Outlaw Figure 8 practice up next. And a bit of a treat for you folks, in case you didn't catch the memo, they're going to run the reverse direction Figure 8. Now, it's really still the same idea, left turns and right turns, but the biggest difference on this is, one, their approach to the start-finish line is coming off of the flag stand turn, the left-hand turn, right in front of the flagman, and then up the straightaway towards the Union 76 sign. So that takes a little bit, especially on qualifying situations, a little bit of different thinking. It's hard to bonsai something when you're coming off a turn like that. So it's going to set up a slightly difference in qualifying. And in general, it also means you're looking to time your spots there between being able to check the flagman to be able to check the traffic. So we'll see what happens here in the hot lap session coming up. We need Outlaw Figure 8 cars, Outlaw Figure 8 cars, Outlaw Figure 8 cars to the gate, please. Outlaw Figure 8 cars to the gate.
18 Outlaw Figure 8 cars signed in so far today, so a nice Sunday afternoon field.
Quick rundown here. The Shelbyville Auto Parts Street Stock Championship chase. Kevin Smith leading the way there. 4 in a row. They claim 5 because there's a heat race in there too. 4 features in a row for Kevin Smith here. Rex Cox the third, sitting second points. We've already said Scotty Keene, third in points, one of his best runs in a long, long time. Jordan Gonder, fourth. And Kenny McDonough, once again, top 5 still hanging on there for Kenny McDonough.
Yeah, and that's your top 5 in the championship standings. Let's give you the top 5 here in speeds after round 1 of practice here for the Shelbyville Auto Parts Street Stocks. Point leader Kevin Smith atop the board. Second so far is Scott Keene, followed by Adam Sims. Kyle Summers still hanging on there with the 4th quickest time in practice. And rounding out the top 5, the wily old veteran Billy Bart in the 15 machine. That's your top 5 street stock practicers here from the first round.
Practicer.
Wait, is that the sun, Tori?
It could be. The sun is out. The Indianapolis Speedrome. Yes, sir, Bob. We have a sun alert here on the east side of Indianapolis. Hold the presses and call the TV stations. We have a sun. We need Outlaw cars, Figure 8 cars, Figure 8 cars, Figure 8 cars, the on-track gate, please. Outlaw Figure 8 cars, the on-track gate. Outlaw Figure 8 cars, the on-track gate. Now we got to remind the crews here, they're going to actually swap the lights around a little bit here. And got to make sure they have aimed in the right direction. But this will be a hot lap session, practice session. We move the track trucks onto the front stretch instead of the back stretch where we used to stash them, because the direction of travel, and therefore the direction of mayhem, will take the cars towards the back stretch should the worst happen. Or so we hope.
Yeah, and they're used to turning 2 of the 4 lights around from the oval to the 8, but this time it's the 2 different lights they're having to turn because of the reverse direction. Mm-hmm. The last time we had the reverse direction Figure 8 was ironically a rained out Saturday night where we had to run on Sunday, and Troy Hughes Jr. was the winner that afternoon last year when we had the last reverse direction Figure 8. So I'm sure he'll be looking at that as a good sign for himself, hopefully.
Now, one may have an interesting change, and that is going to be, I think she's coming up now, Jill Lepedo. I don't think she's ever done one of these before on a reverse direction. She was not with us last year.
Well, she came a mid-season last year, so I'm just trying to remember whether that race was before or after she showed up.
That's a good point.
And
you're supposed to know these things. Come on, Scott.
I'll have to look that up. But whether she did or not, this would still be, she's not got very many laps of going this direction, I'm sure. Kevin Brooks, I guarantee, has never went this direction.
Nope.
So this will be something new for him in his rookie season here in the Outlaws. So
being just practice, we'll flag it from the front stretch and use the lights to help direct traffic. Now, the other issue is I have to laugh because our guys in the turn 2 oval, the gate there, the on-track gate, they're not used to cars coming at them. And I'll tell you, it's a whole different view down there when this happens, I tell you.
Yeah.
So our track crew actually a bit better taking cover than they usually are.
Yeah, and some folks say, well, they're still doing 2 right-hand turns, 2 left-hand turns, so what the heck's the difference? There's a huge difference. The reference points, a little bit of the way they get on the gas in both ends of the track, just a whole different feel because they only do it maybe once, sometimes twice a year, so it's just a whole different deal.
See if we can't get them to stick with follow leader around for a lap. You can see the approach to the start-finish line is one of the big ones. And then as you come to that, what is now turn 2, well, I guess turn 1 of the 8.
Well, and we already see Anthony Sloan moving himself. He did a little loop down here in this end, you know.
There we go. Got the 57 of Jesse Tunney and the 0 of Lepedo.
There's Charlie Hargraves.
Charlie Hargraves in the 74.
Watch
still
him go around here.
Let's see. Stick with it, Mr. Cameraman. Stick with it. There we go. Now sets him up. There is going to be your turn 3 of the 8. Sweeps it on around by the flag stand for turn 4.
And then there's
across the line.
Yeah, the line is right there. Where normally the line is at the end of the straightaway. Well, here it's at the start of the straightaway. So restarts and starts are just totally different. If you're battling the guy for position down to the finish is totally different. And your back end of your car is so light making that turn going right there that it's easy to get maybe maneuvered out of the way a little bit there as you're heading for the line. So just a lot of different perspectives by going the other direction.
And the other one, and we'll see when it happens here during a red flag situation, the leader can pick which side he wants to start on for the approach there on the start. But now you're in a total different situation. You can, if you pick one, you're on the inside of that marker tire at the start of that lap to come to the green.
Yeah.
But you're at a huge disadvantage getting to the other end of the straightaway.
Yeah, and since we normally do it once, maybe twice a year, a lot of guys don't have a database in their mind of, which side is better, which is not, sort of thing. And it might depend on their car as well. So a lot of different choices to be made in a reverse direction figure 8 race. And that's what makes it so unique. The first time we ever did a reverse direction figure 8 here was in 2009. So it's not been a long time, so. Maybe, 12, 15 times we've ever done this, so it's still relatively new even to the guys that have been around for a while.
And the other big story now, one of the issues on the track is, of course, it's once again, because of the rain we've had all week, a bit of a green track, very much a green track, and there is still some dampness out there, especially in the little sippy section here down there. And, what's now turn 4 of the 8, turn 4 of the 8 and the oval there. That works out finally.
Yeah.
That end of the track is actually part of the lowest bit of geography around, and so that section is closest to the old groundwater, and that groundwater kind of seeps up. And despite everything we do, pumping out and whatnot, there's still it tends to retain. That's where the weepers are, as they would say at Indy.
Yeah.
And so that's still an issue down there, and you can see it right at the start-finish line is a section that we just can never get dry until we just get a couple good days of sun.
And even another odd piece of strategy of this is somebody like Charlie Hargraves. His kids are racing in the junior Faskarts, which are the next class up. So Charlie had to make sure he was out in this first group of these Outlaw figure 8 cars because he's got to go back and analyze what happened in his practice, but immediately get out of there and start getting his kids ready for their next round of practice. So even stuff like that, Charlie couldn't beat around the bush and end up in the third group of these Outlaw figure 8s. So a lot of different things going on here Sunday afternoon for some different people.
Ricky Schaefer 03 in this group. The return of the Garrett guys, the Garrigus family, is back into house. I'm assuming that's going to be Donnie 3.
That's Donnie 4.
Donnie 4, okay.
As in G4.
G4, duh, okay, good clue. Manny Aguilar back with us here. Ben Tunney's number 5, the 21 to Dylan Douthit. And the number 31, Johnny Hargraves Jr.
Yeah, one of our rookies here in 2025. Ricky Schaefer out there, also one of our rookies this year, but coming off that big wreck he had in the 250, damaged some ribs and things and like that, so it's surely going to be a tender afternoon for him.
Little Miss Ashley there taking care of her man, and she's got him all healed up again, they say.
Yep.
Everything bandaged, ready to go.
But I'm sure crew chief Tommy St. John has that car set up and ready to go best he can after that wreck.
Oh, Donnie 4 already pulls off to the side. Is going to watch this from the sideline. So
I think he fired it back up, Tori. Maybe he stopped to adjust some belts or things like that. You know, first time back out in the track. Well, hopefully he can get back out there.
He usually saves it for the big ones. And, of course, we got the Jake's 150 coming up, a traditional race that, well, I think we just about had a Gary's almost every one of those, haven't we?
Yeah, and this is a special one. It's the 25th anniversary Jake's 150 as you see DG4 head back out onto the track.
So we can get some time. Ricky Schaefer is our fast cat, 17.902. Now, we usually talk about 17.7s where you need to be in the sweet spot to be running with the guys. And, of course, you know, we're seeing our hot dogs all in the 17.2s and 1s. But 17.9 on the reverse, not bad at all. And it's Ricky Schaefer down in there.
Well, those times are going to be slower because, one, it is a reverse.
Yep.
And, two, it is a green track, as you mentioned earlier, with all the rain we had last evening.
There's definitely some dampness down here right here at the start-finish line.
Yeah, so actually times are going to get faster as the day goes on. So actually later in the feature probably will end up being the fastest times of the day.
But this is also when you change things up like that, sometimes a couple of guys that you don't usually see have a good shot at. Schaefer right now our fast cat. Second quick is Charlie Hargraves. Jesse Tunney's been a regular fast qualifier, but Kevin Brooks and Jillian Lepedo, fifth quickest so far tonight.
Yeah, definitely reverse direction figure eight opens up lots of opportunities for folks to have a good day. I remember one of the first, I think it was the first reverse figure eight that Dylan Douthit was in. He come home second or third place, and Charlie Hargraves was the winner in that deal. That was the next to last reverse figure eight that we had. So definitely opportunities. Charlie Hargraves and Troy Hughes, the winner of the last two reverse direction figure eights that we've had.
Yeah. The old man, Manny Aguilar, right now.
He's been around about every direction of this track in his career out here. He's just happy that he only has to race one class today, so I'm sure he'll be happy about that. Concentrate on this figure eight car.
I'm curious to see what's going on with Ben Tunney. Still sixth quick out of the group with an 18.1.
And again, Ben has a new chassis here in 2025, so this will be the first time he's went in this direction in this car.
Yep. So a lot of people throw their, basically a lot of your setup does go out. And then you think when you build these figure eight cars, you build them to be balanced, front, back, side to side.
Yeah.
But there's always going to be a touch of bias. Where the driver's at, where's, the parts of the engine components at to get that balance just right. And it's going to throw you off a bit here on these other directions. So I had to do a little work on it.
Well, and you talk about a person like John Hargraves Jr. out there. This is only his fifth ever Outlaw figure eight race, and here he is going a different direction. Yep. So, his notebook for his career so far is still just a few pages long. Yep. So he's going to turn a new page here by going the reverse direction here. I don't even know if they did it in the Ford class when he was in it. So I would imagine.
I don't think we ever did. I think we just did standard figure eights on the Ford.
Yeah, so I would think this is the first time he's ever went that direction as well. So definitely going to be an interesting day. So you definitely want to, if you're in the area, come out here and come on in the grandstands and check this out. If you're watching us on YouTube, you can sign up for the pay-per-view tonight on speedrome.tv. Get that monthly subscription. Start watching.
Second, I looked at the gate and I thought that was an Indy car there lining up there, just the way the the nose, and the fenders.
Well, and what's interesting, too, is they come out the gate and turn left there, which is not normal either.
That's Corey Harmon in the number 17. One of the fellows making the drive from way down south.
Yep.
And right behind him is going to be Jeffrey Shackelford, number 28. We saw Chad Sizer, number 91. There's Troy Hughes, who's number 22. And Matt Smith's number 87.
Yeah, some fast cats out here in this.
Oh, yeah, oxen free. Last call. Outlaws, no more? Okay. That's like
we'll see if everybody's
2, 4, 17 on the track. I've been taking times.
I haven't seen Dennis Sloan yet.
That's true. Now, Dennis was having some rear-end problems after the last race, and
they may be ironing that out, or maybe Dennis is just making sure he's good for the feature and maybe saving his stuff for the main event.
That could be it. He was unclear about how well it was going to hold up with his repairs he had to do.
Well, and when you're out here in practice, it's just practice. When you go to the race, it's time to hit the pay window. So, maybe saving it up for that. And
at least, and we will say one of the other factors is you got to take the green to make some green. That's even if you limp across one way or the other.
Yep, so this final wave of Outlaw figure eight cars is out here. Again, the Outlaws are presented by Hadley Towing and Recovery.
Now, Ben Tunney did get our fast lap of the day, so that's 17.8 and change there.
Yeah, kind of snuck that in late there.
Yep.
So I guess our concerns about him weren't that bad. Out there in this group, again, Troy Hughes, the winner of the last reverse direction figure eight that we had, and it was in 2024. Matt Smith out there in the blue 87, and there's your points leader, the 28 of Jeffrey Shackelford. He is the hottest driver in figure eight racing right now. He's won 3 consecutive figure eights overall, 2 of them here at the Speedrome, and sandwiched in between, he won the Outlaw figure eight event at the Painesville Speedway in Ohio. Yep. So, and 2 of those wins, majors here at the Speedrome. He won the Phyllis Tunney Memorial and also won the Spring Shootout 250. So, Jeffrey looking to continue his hot streak here on a Sunday afternoon. And
shaping things up for the Jake's 150 coming up.
Which he is the reigning champion of.
Now, one of the interesting points here, got to think about Matt Smith has made his way up to 6th in points. He's just had a rotten year, though.
Yeah, but he soldiered on. He even 1 week borrowed Ben Tunney's backup car and had a good run going in it. So, you got to try to overcome adversity, and sometimes those great championship weekend or championship seasons are built on those weekends that are the hardest luck weekends. How do you overcome those?
Junior Fast Karts up next. Junior Fast Karts up next. Junior Fast Karts up next for your final practice session. Trying to give every division, every car about 7 laps or so to get in under their belt.
And the track getting better because we got 3 guys in this group that have popped up to the top 3 spots, Tori.
Chad Sizemore, 17.594, and immediately pulled off the service. Jeffrey Shackelford, 17.658. And Troy Hughes, 17.884. Ben Tunney, 17.889. And Ricky Shaver, 17.902. So, looks like the track definitely coming around for us. And with Mr. Sun coming out, well, at least somewhat out. You can read by the daylight now, anyways. I think we just saw Matt Smith running side by side with Shackelford.
Yeah, they've been trading spots here the last couple laps.
And that was a 17.6 for Shackelford that last lap, 7 quick overall, I should say. So 17 cars taking times and got 7 of them under the 18-second mark.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, they're starting to creep down towards their regular direction figure eight times. Last lap or so here in this.
Let's see. Points right now are Shackelford, Ben Tunney, Mark Tunney. And that's another. Mark Tunney, 3rd in points. That kind of makes realize where things are going with the sport here. Chad Sizemore, Jesse Tunney, Matt Smith, Mason Hadley, 7th. Kevin Brooks, 8th. Lee Schwartz, 9th. And Charlie Hargraves running out the top 10.
And speaking of Lee Schwartz, Lee had to work today by moving this to Sunday, but he is – thinks he's going to be able to make it and join in on the tail of the race here today. So he's currently at work. So if you're listening, Lee, we'll hope to see you later on. Lee is hoping to just jump in on the tail here.
Well, now the good news, we plan is we got Jessica ready to go. Jessica Bush, of course, is ready for her figure eight debut. So Lee, if you can't make it, we'll put Jessica in. She says she's all set to go racing.
Suit her up.
Yep. Now
and see that this is your threat, Lee, to make sure you make it, because if Jessica doesn't run, there's only one other option in your pit area.
Well, we'll see. We got the telephone book to put underneath Jessica so she can fit in his seat.
But the next driver available in his pit area is Donnie Scurry. So Lee, the pressure's on you, sir.
Lee, you got to get here, man.
That'll wrap up the first round of practice for all of our divisions. So we'll now go into the second round of practice. Again, ending up in the figure eight cars, Chad Sizemore, Jeffrey Shackelford, Troy Hughes, Ben Tunney, and Ricky Schaefer, your top 5 at the end of figure eight practice round 1. Next up, the Circle City Pyrotechnics Junior Fast Karts with their second round of practice, second and final round of practice. Get those set up. We'll have 3 features for the Junior Fast Karts here today. Again, the way we break those down is the first feature is the top 12 or 13 or so in points. And then the second feature is the middle 12 or 13 or so in the championship standings. And then the last feature is those folks who maybe started a little late in the season or have had some bad luck so far, a little lower down in point standings. But we've seen throughout the season drivers move up from that third feature to the second feature to the first feature as they climb their ladder of the point standings. So always fun to watch the juniors race and compete here every weekend at the Speedrome.
And I'm wondering, do we have a visitor here from Auburn, Maine today?
We'll check that out
Well, I
here,
have to
Tori.
look out.
We could start this practice if you wanted to take a peek out there.
No, that's okay. We'll let him come himself. Auburn, Maine. Auburn, Maine, are you in the house? All right. I thought maybe, I don't know. Eric Hodgkins out there teasing us on the Facebook there.
Here come the junior Faskarts. Looks like about 10 here in this first group, 8, 9, or 10.
Brooke and Vinegar, your fave.
Yep, 2 division driver. She's only taking it easy today, just one class
Just
for her.
one, yeah, okay. Well, we couldn't find a figure 8 car for her to drive just yet. We're working
She may fill in for Lee
There
Schwartz.
you go. We got another candidate now, Lee.
James Rogers out there in the 27, the 62 of Brian Ross, the 1 of Jared Gully, the 71 of Alexander Palmer, the 88 of Lola Arthur, the 60 of Nick Ross, the 97 of Cheyenne Clark, and the 26G of Emily Garr. That's our group out here for this first wave of Circle City Pyrotechnics Junior Fast Karts.
So let's see. Former feature wins in this group, Lola Arthur and Ross and Clark and Garr and the other Clark, or Ross. Vinegar has not got one yet, has she?
Yeah, she does.
Yeah, okay.
Last year, Palmer, our newbie in 2025, is yet to taste victory.
Got to work on that.
Still a lot of racing left to go.
Jared Gully's got a couple wins now, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's won this year and last year.
Yep. So on a roll, so good. And that's part of one of the positives there about this division. The 3 feature arrangement does give some opportunities there. Whoopsie, as a Palmer 51 there spins up 71 Palmer spins around the wrong way. Alexander take a bit of a ride.
Yeah, during a normal season here, we'll have close to 30 different drivers that'll win a feature during the season. So that's really great with this 3 feature spread. Palmer smartly right there let it roll down the banking enough to get enough room to turn and around. So even though he didn't have reverse gear, he used the banking there as a reverse gear. So smart move there by Alexander Palmer.
So that's what are we doing in rookies in the divisions?
Let me take a look at that.
Does Corbin qualify? I don't think.
Corbin was Rookie of the Year last year.
Yeah, there we go. That's why Cohen raced with us last year.
Cohen did as well.
Okay. Then so Trenton Bliss right now, 13th in points, I think.
Let me go down the list here. Yeah, I think Trenton Bliss would be our top rookie currently in the point standings.
Then Lily Drago's on her second season or so.
Yeah,
then the 15th is Audrey Freeze, the Ice Queen up next.
Yep.
Jared Gully only had one race last year.
No, he raced a little bit more. He's lost his rookie deal. The next one down on the rookie point standings would probably be Caden Gully.
Caden Gully, followed by your best, 23 of Swinford.
That's right, Colton Swinford.
Right
and then there's Palmer, as we mentioned, Alexander Palmer.
Yep.
Levi McDonough, Adeline Palmer.
Yep.
Anthony Johnson, we've yet to see today. Anthony's picked up a feature win so far this year.
Cameron Melson is okay. So, and let's see. So far, scoring points for the season. I can't even find them all in here. 43 have scored points in 2025 in this division.
Wow. That's impressive.
Yep. Nick Ross fastest once again, 16.049. Cheyenne Clark second quick, 16.059. Talk about some matched up cars. Brooklyn Vinegar, 16.122. Brian Ross, 16.160. So in all those kids all about 1/10 of a second apart. Then 16.250 for Emily Garr. Lola Arthur, 16.3 and change. Up from there, it's a nice little run.
Yeah. As we wrap up this group, I'd like to give a big shout out to all the folks that help dry the track here, as it was a mess from last night's rainstorms. We had a group of folks that get here at 8 o'clock this morning and work tirelessly to get this track dry, and that includes our chief steward, John George, our assistant chief steward, Jackson Mears, as well as Jonah Tracy and Caleb Tidd. They worked a lot all morning long to get this track ready and able for us to compete on time today. We want to thank those folks for doing such a great job for getting the track ready and able for us to race today and able for us to watch some great racing today. So.
And true, appreciate you good people coming out and joining us here today. I had to call that audible there at the last minute on the Facebook, and that's where you go to check out the latest what's going on with the Speedrome, the Facebook page. Easiest way to find out when we do have to call an audible on a program like we did last night. We try to call it early enough so folks can make plans, especially if folks had to travel, like, Corey Harmon's a good example, making the drive up from down by the river. And that long drive there was save him the grief of coming out and turning back around again.
Yeah, and believe me, we wanted to race last night. We don't ever want to cancel a race. People always get on us about, canceling this, that, and there. We want to race. It's not that we just do this on a whim, but we're thinking of the safety of the racers, the fans, the track crew, everybody going on. So, and like you said, we try to call it early enough so hopefully you can enjoy your Saturday evening with your family and your friends and take advantage of that time on Saturday night. So we hope you did that last evening.
And we do want to thank, I guess he's down at the other end. He went to the high class. Hits me up on my Facebook Messenger, don't you know. Eric Hodgkins in the house, ladies and gentlemen. The Maniac came to play with us. Now, out of Oxford, Maine, a lot of you might have followed here in past seasons there with the 3-hour figure endurance race, making that long haul up from the farthest reaches of New England. But unfortunately, his division, holy cow, that's a bump and thump that's going to leave a mark. Yep. Knocks loose the little guard there on the 26 machine, and I think...
Yeah, Melton got sideways going through 4 there, and unfortunately Peyton Reitner had nowhere to go, and they made some contact. But Mason's pulled into the infield there. Yep,
and he's lost the guard on that left front. These cars have a special guard protecting the tires, so we don't have a tire hopping situation. That's actually come loose on that left front, so crew be prepared to prepare that
and you
so you get back out.
Peyton going to check on as well. Yep. They didn't want to make contact there. You talk about Eric Hodgkins being here. The last time we physically saw him racing with us was he was during the Winter Storm Series.
Oh, gosh, yes.
He ran all 3 of those events in 2024 down in Florida, where we hit the tracks of Freedom Factory and Citrus County Speedway and the Auburndale Speedway. So a great ambassador for figure 8 racing. And he travels a long way anytime he wants to compete in figure 8 racing, living all the way up there in Maine.
Yep. Now, they took away his whole division there over at Oxford Speedway. Unfortunately, last I heard they dropped the figure 8 division, so he's homeless. You're welcome here anytime, Eric. We'll be glad to take you in. There he is. I see him there. He's, if you see anybody named Mikey or Josh, you want to just move over a couple more seats there. You got to be careful around them in that crossover section. But we welcome him back to the Indianapolis Speedrome. Glad to have you with you, sir. And he always had it. Because my crew there with the my demo derby crew, he always had those pipes coming up out the off the headers and going straight up, which our figure 8 guys go, huh? But my demo derby guys loved that look.
Yeah, and you know what? Actually, the last time he came to the Speedrome to compete, they brought a Ford car along with him. So they not only hold an Outlaw figure 8 car, but they hauled a Ford car to come down here and race. Yep. That's some commitment right there.
And Metal Crew going to have a chat there, the 26 machine of Rogers there, make sure that that's not Rogers. I got my Mason, there we go. Colton Mason, sorry. So we're going to take a look, see what's going on. He's complaining a little discomfort. And with these kids, these are, of course, once again, these are grade school children, so we do take a little extra care. Checking on them. Looks like there is some bit more damage than I thought on that corner there on Peyton Ryder's machine as well, so she'll get eased into the pits. So, again, we take a special stop here to check on Colton Mason there.
Yeah, he just got sideways coming out of turn 4 there just a little bit, and unfortunately when he turned sideways there was just nowhere for Peyton Reitner to go, and they made contact there in turn 4, and he was able to get it down to the infield. But
soldiers on down there to get out of the way. But
track crew went and talked to him and asked him to take a little look.
And he's up and out on his own, folks. Let's see, a little stiff and sore. But
yeah, good to see him out of the cart there. Give him a hand.
And he's going to get the free ride back into the pits.
We'll get the cart hooked up and hauled back there for him and check on him. But good to see him get up and head on over there. I'm sure he was shaking up there because when that cart got sideways, here come the next cart headed right at him, and just nowhere for him to go.
Don't forget, we got the Hoosier Lottery there outside of turn 3 of the oval. We got the Indy Screen Print trailer outside of turn 1 of the oval. Looks like we got the snow cone stand to open up and ready for you outside of turn 4. Food and beverages underneath the main grandstand and others. So if you get a little hungry, a little thirsty, got you taken care of. And once again, about the only rule on seating. 1, you be respectful of everybody. But 2, Please, if you're going to sit in front of the Mike Heimel auction service sign, make sure that you're not smoking or consuming alcoholic beverages, not doing electronic vaping, that sort of stuff. So just a thought, just a request. And continue through the hot lap session. Final round of hot laps for each division. Everybody getting about 7 laps or so to get their times in and get their final session of practice, and then we'll close things down for a bit and get ready to go racing. There was worried about doing a possible open practice again. We'll play it by ear. We'll wait for the word from race control on that. Opening up for some extra practice to kind of further some of the track drawing. You can see the dampness situation, the humidity situation is still pretty sturdy out there. So that's preventing track from drying as thoroughly as it could. Checking out a bit of racing going down the backstretch right now. I believe that's 73 machine of Johnson there, dueling with the number 14 of Smith. Pittman coming up in his number 38, and Johnson, as we go checkers though, makes it a moot point. With significant here, we do have Chris Britton back out again, and he is a bit off the speed charts. And where is he? Oh, no, he's not. He's fast time so far, 15.520. I couldn't find him because he's on top of the charts. So Britton missed out of the first practice session, but already fast and ready to go, 15.520. Best time so far for the junior Faskarts in this final practice session.
Got some more juniors set to go out here in just a moment as we finished the second wave there. As you mentioned, Chris Britton Jr., first practice of the day, puts it right up on top of the board. Second in points, second in times, Bentley Applegate there. Nick Ross, Cheyenne Clark, and Brooklyn Benniger, the top 5 after 2 groups.
And we're back. Sorry, didn't mean to disappear on you. Points leader Corbin West out there in the 0-2 machine right now. Cousin Cohen West out there in the number 33, 31 of KK Hargraves at 90. Ready to roll. That is Audrey Fraze, Ice Queen, the 14 of Mason Summers, Summers, the 44 of Colton Swinford back in action. 36 of Trenton Bliss. 09 of the Dragon Lady, Lily Drago on the track. 51 of Addison Palmer. Adeline Palmer.
Yeah, and that's a former Eder machine there.
Mm-hmm.
One of the championship rides from last year. Which we'll see Eder out here in a few minutes in the Legend cars.
And now we're kind of watching 15.520 for Britton, 15.724 for Corbin West, but he's been dealing with traffic for a lot of his laps and did not find some clear space. So I was kind of curious to see where we're going to be speed chart-wise.
Corbin West this year has sort of had the trifecta of things. He's won races. When he doesn't win races, he finishes on the podium.
Yep.
And 2, he's been fast. So he's kind of been all that and had no bad luck so far either. So
he's had a bag of chips too.
Yeah,
so
he's had all that. So good season so far for the talented young man. Former corner midget racer.
I guess it's kind of strange. We got the 33 car with the proper Gregg colors there for the 33 of Colin West, but girl-powered Kimmy Gregg back out racing in 33, and it ain't got the right colors. Got to work on that.
Yeah, because this is definitely the familiar paint scheme of the Gregg stable there. Kimmy started in the junior Faskarts, and now Cohen's out there from the family competing in that same color scheme.
And Cohen is third quick at a 15.871. Bentley Applegate stands on fourth at the 16 and change. And Nick Ross still holding up the fifth spot in the speed charts. But it's Britton on top.
Things have really been clicking for Cohen as well here over the last few weeks. Sort of had a bumpy start, but then they got a feature win and some great finishes along with that. So really some momentum building in that kart as well. Got a few more karts left to sneak out here for our final round and final group of practicers for the Circle City Pyrotechnics Junior Fast Karts here on this Sunday afternoon. Our first racing event in the month of June here in 2025. The sun threatening to peek out again.
Yep. There's a line over at the Frankenstein. Boy, oh, my Rocky Horror Picture Show folks know that one. All right.
I went to many of those on a Friday at about midnight.
There you go.
Over on the west side, maybe Speedway area.
Yep.
Back in the day. We went many of Friday nights over there.
We can't talk about that anymore, though.
Yeah. What happened in there after midnight stayed in there after midnight.
I was going to say. What the parole officer didn't know, the parole officer didn't know. Didn't need to find out. Don't forget our good friends over the Hoosier Lottery outside of turn 3. And here we go. One last chance. Balin Arthur out there, enter number 28 machine. 4 of Ryan Crouch. Kylie Gully has been fast all season long in the number 12. And let's see if we can't shake that up a little bit here in this final practice session.
Yeah, she's had speed all year long. Just had some bad luck here and there. So hopefully today will be a better day. Start to get wound up here in this last group.
She's up to 15th out of the so far, but only a couple laps into it. I get 3 laps into it. There we go. So
Easton Underwood cracking into the top 10 here during this final group.
Well, that's because he's able to hold to the floor all the way around. Now, if you just teach Dad that, we'll be all right. You just got to teach.
There's your Cat Gully right there jumping into the top 5 right there,
I'll tell you. Oh, man.
You called that.
Yep.
You called that. Nice speed there out of the 12 machine.
And did not improve that time by. It did improve the time, not position, though.
White flag out here for these youngsters.
That whole family, just another one of those that been with us for years here at the Speedrome. Grandpa, Dad, Mike. I lose track of the family tree.
Back up to third, fourth generation of Gullies out here.
I'll tell you. Not all of them relate to the others, but enough of them are.
Well, that's what we got. 3 generations on 2 different sections of Gullies.
There you go.
Out there. So I mean, that's pretty amazing.
Wrapping this one up.
Yep, and as we see the checkered flag, here's your final top 5 from this round of practice. On top, the king of the starts and the restarts, the 57 of Chris Britton Jr., followed by Corbin West, your points leader. Cohen West 3rd, Kylie Gully 4th, Bentley Applegate in 5th position.
Can we get a final rundown? 33 karts, 33 of the Junior Fast Karts taking time here today. So,
yep, the next thing up for these juniors will be their 3 main events, which will be at 3 o'clock here. So,
glad to have you come out and join us. Still plenty of time wherever you may be, unless you are.
Yeah, if you're in the area, come and join us. We got a guy here from Maine that made it here. If he can make it here, and you being down the street, you certainly can make it out here.
Yeah, well, they make stronger coffee out there.
Here come the Jiffy Lube of Indiana factory front-wheel drives out for their final round of practice.
And I'm going to have Travis Harmon back out in 94. Kyle Bird, we talked about him quite a bit extensively there in the first practice session, the 55. Double-0 your points leader, Ray Neversall. Devin Matthews in the 22.
I think it's his first time out today.
Yep, and not seen him yet today. Well, also number 23, another one of the Matthews, I believe, there. So I'm not sure if that's because they're talking about the.
Is that the car that Downey drove some as
That's true. That's probably going to be Robert Downey Jr. Oh, good point. I think that is
Kyle
the
Downey.
Kyle Downey. Yeah, that's close enough. Yeah, let's not bring that.
So we'll see when that clicks up on
that's going to be the Downey boy. Yep, it is.
Yep.
Kyle Downey in the 23. You're on top of it. I'm underneath. The 177 of Daniels and the 13 of our hero, Jaden Steele, on the track this time.
Yeah, our first guy out you mentioned there, Travis Harmon. He picked up his first career feature win the last time out, winning the kidney bean race. Travis, lots of podium finishes over his career at the Speedrome, but the first time he tasted checkered flag victory lane there last time out, so he's going to look to back that up with another victory here this afternoon. 30-lap main event on tap here for the Jiffy Lube factory front-wheel drive machines. No kidney bean.
Nope.
Straight up 4 corner marker tires.
And that's been sort of, he's been something of one they talked in the pits there, even though he was, sometimes tops in points, but could not get that win, could not get that final trophy under that monkey off his back, so to speak. And, you always kind of wonder, it's going to have a touch of a asterisk next to it because that has been a kidney bean. So he needs just a regular oval win now just to make it complete.
Yeah. And that's amazing for a guy like him. He's probably had 6, 8, 10 runner-up finishes on the oval, but then there's the kidney bean, and he puts it in victory lane.
Yep.
So it's suddenly probably going to be his favorite course, until the next time he wins, Good battles showing there on screen with him and the point leader, Raiden Eversole. Raiden, who's also been to victory lane so far in 2025.
And you saw basically a classic move. Raiden able to move to the inside of him. Now, nobody's really fighting anybody hard. It is practice, but now they're racing with him. Travis not doing too bad a job keeping up with him there for a while.
But, those are 2 of the faster guys in the field today, so maybe they're trying to judge themselves against each other, because they could end up racing each other for the win here later on today.
Another footnote of this is the Eversole car is, 3 seasons old now?
Yeah, been around for a while. Of course, Raiden, the son of Robert Eversole, who's the all-time wins leader here in the front-wheel drives at the Speedrome.
And Robert drove it for a couple times.
Yep. Jess Holliday, I think, piloted this car a little bit, so it's been around the block a bit. But, a lot of times these guys think they need a new race car, but the old ones are always fast. And that's in any division.
And it was Zachary Hall in the hatch there. Fast time so far, 15.163. That's a 3:33 machine to Officer Dorn. And Hall's having a pretty good season overall.
He's a guy that competes in a lot of different things as well.
Yep. Not afraid to go traveling either, so he's been fun to watch.
Yeah, he'll run
another one of our record drivers.
Yep, run the grocery getters. Go out repo some cars afterwards.
We go out repo right afterwards, or do pick up a couple impounds.
Yeah, the versatile fella. Here comes the second half of today's factory front-wheel drive field.
Junior catching back out in the 61. Jessica Bush taking a break from probably warming up for a figure 8 debut here in the 51.
Yeah. Hey, it'd be easy to find same car number. Just hop on in.
Yeah.
Pick up that bright orange helmet of Lee and put it on.
Yeah. Easton Underwood's dad, the 17.
Doug, who also made his debut in the school bus last week in the school bus figure 8.
Yep.
Yeah. Fun evening for him.
Chris Knapp, number 5. Dylan Douthit in the 55. Eric Hodgkins in the house. Oh.
Sir? Getting these front-wheel drives on here. Jalen Summers out there in the 41. Moved up from the junior fast kart division. Love it. Mother Nature tried to get rid of us, but
Well, Confess Militia with Eric Hodgins coming in after the final figure 8 practice. Just heads up on that with you folks, wherever you may be checking in from. Give them a chance to call home and say, Mom, listen to this.
Wrapping up, we got 15 front-wheel drives here so far that have timed in here this afternoon.
Legend Car's up next. Legend Car's standing ready at the gate. Hall still the fast cat. That's the one that kind of shakes you to the core there.
He was pretty fast in the first round of practice, if I remember that.
But you always think of the the Harmon machine there with the Van Valkenburg preparation and the like, all the work.
Zach's been to Victory Lane here at the Speedrome before, but just yet to taste it in this new ride of his, and I'm sure he'd love to get that tribute machine to Victory Lane. That'd be a nice thing to do there.
Kimmy Gray getting a little bit better, 15.8 and change there for the Black 33 machine. She's trying to work out the pace. There's still a lot of bugs to work out in that one. I think this is basically a debut of that car this year.
Yeah. I'm sure Circle City Junk Cars may have picked this up during the week, and they got it ready here for this afternoon quickly. Hopefully it doesn't end up on the Circle City Junk Cars trailer later on in the evening. That would be a bad sign. Hall still hanging on to the top.
Snapper. Spot. Oh, okay, got the checks. I thought Snapper running problems out there. I'll start watching the flagman. Nobody else does. But I guess we need to start paying attention to that. There's
someone else to look at on here. Jaden Steele third quick here in this practice. And we've been talking about Jaden quite a bit. He had that bad luck with the wheel coming off at the start of the season. But ever since then, he's just been getting better and better and better and better. So it's
steady improvement there on Steele. Good point there on that one.
Yeah, and our rookie Jalen Summers there in the fourth spot. And there's Kyle Bird still working the bugs out of that machine. He's up to fifth so far for the veteran driver.
So legend cars, and this is going to be important now for these legend cars because the times from this hot lap session will be their qualifying times. So this group qualifying.
Yes. And I've been given a little update. The top 18 from this overall practice session will lock into the Drakewood 54. The fastest during this will draw an invert between 9 and 18. So getting first job you have is to get into the top 18.
Yep.
And then you'll hope the invert works your way into that. Then all the other drivers, 19th quickest on, will line up heads up in the B main and try to lock in the last 6 spots of the main event. So these are important laps for every single one of these legend drivers.
Now the other catch is a lot of people say, well, I'll sandbag a little bit and hope for a better starting position. These cars are so well matched. You sandbag just a little bit off, 1/10 of a second, 1/100th of a second off, and you're suddenly gone from
You may be the
transfer to
you may think I'm the third fastest guy, so I'll sandbag just a hair and end up 10th or 11th, so I can make the invert. Well, you might end up being in the B main by doing that because these cars are so closely matched. So there's no sandbagging available on this deal because the field is so tight. So the best thing you could do is come out and run the hardest that you possibly can.
Yep.
And we'll keep you up to date on the top 18 or so after we get 18 cars out here for practice.
Right now, 8 on the track right now.
And there are lots of bonus awards going out tonight, and one of them deals with qualifying. The Cave Barber Shop is giving $33 to the fastest qualifier. So that the fastest car in this section will already basically get their pit pass back.
Pit pass paid for. There you go.
Yeah. And then a second bonus award to mention is all drivers that make the A main event will get $54 bonus added on thanks to Rhonda Wood and PJ School of Cosmetology. So there's already just making the feature.
And big shout out to those folks. Rhonda Wood, wow, that's a big coverage. I mean,
that's a couple grand there.
Yeah, that is for the guys racing these classic cars. A whole lot of times they go racing, they're racing nothing but trophies in these legend cars.
Yeah, and it ended up we have almost $4,000 worth of bonus money to handed out tonight, and that doesn't include the regular purse. Which is $500 to win the main event tonight, plus any bonus award money they get. So a lot of cash on the line here for these legend cars at this first major of the season.
So the bar right now is still Corey Adams, 13.011. Oh, down to Kevin Brooks, 13.769. 13769 for Kevin Brooks.
Brooks is a guy who doesn't run a lot of legend car races because he's got other divisions, but he's always quick when he runs in them, so no surprise to see him up there, but knocked the current reigning champion off the top spot there.
I guess we should have kept track of where, about the 18th quick time there on that first practice session because obviously gives an idea what we're aiming for, But
I do remember us looking at that, Tori, and it was only about 4/10 or 4.5 from 1st to 18th. I do remember that part of it. So that just tells you 4/10 around here is hardly anything when you're talking about 30-some cars and separating the top 18. So
right off the bat, Kevin Brooks, 13.769. Corey Adams, 13.811. Zach Brady in the 53 machine, 13.914. Danny Adams in the tribute machine, 54 machine, 14.003. And Abe Puckett, one of the occasional racers here in the 777, a 14-aught. So
8 racers going out in that group, so we'll have another group here come out. So we're going to start to get close to that top 16, 18 range here. Here after this group or so, we'll have to start looking at that. So
one of the drivers in this one is going to be our Max Olmstead, probably one of the hottest drivers we can say we've got out of the Midwest in the Legend cars right now. And he's been traveling all over, winning here Speedrome, winning wherever he goes. I mean,
he's been here twice this year, and he's won both times. But yet he's also won at other tracks around the Midwest.
I mean, he's been the big one, Alabama. I mean, it's all over.
So
it's curious to see what he's got for us here.
But this is his home track, former junior Fascart champion here at the Speedrome. His family's been here for 3 generations, so loves coming back here to the Speedrome, as we now have a total of 16 cars between the first and second groups.
So we're going to start bumping here in this next hot lap session.
Yes, you want to try to get yourself up towards the top of these group. If you're towards the bottom, you're going to have to start worrying.
Be struggle bus time.
But still having a fast time is important, because if you don't make the the top 18, you still want to be towards the front of that B main and give yourself an easier chance to try to make the A main.
Also out there, Tim Skinner in the number 15. We're going to have Eddie Fosnight, number 8.
Chase Penrod in the 72.
Travis Cooper in his orange machine. Nope, that's not Travis, is it? That's the Vanover. Yep, that's the Vanover 96. Oh, Alex Phillips in the 96. Duh.
Yeah.
Oh, Spin Puppy out there on the backstretch. Oh, that's going to leave a mark.
Is that Eder?
Yep, Eder in the 51. Just literally right down the middle of the backstretch, and that's part of what we talk about, this weight-to-power ratio in these Legend cars.
Yeah, that's our reigning junior Fastcar champion. He got a pretty good lap in before that, though, Tori. He's in the 7th spot here out of 16 machines.
Ashton Morell in the number 11, I think you talked about already, and number 19, Ryan Krugler, your buddy Ryan Krugler out there in this group.
He's a guy that races in a couple of classes out here. So
okay, so right now, 16th qualifier is 14.429. We'll start bumping here in a little bit.
Yeah, probably have a couple more waves of cars here to come out. So basically half the people are going to lock in to the A, and the other half are going to go to the B here is what it's looking like.
Yep. And
then out of that B main, 6 cars will advance. The top 5 positions plus the highest person in points.
I guess
we got them wound back up, I think, after
Max
we got
Olmstead, 13.665. Now, we got some bonus laps now with that spin.
Well, the laps counted under the caution flag there, but they weren't high-speed laps, so they're going to get the same amount of green flag laps.
Gotcha.
Eder,
infield again for the 51.
Yeah, and I think that's what the caution was for, to get him back underway. Yep. Trying to give everybody the same amount of hot lap qualifying.
By he took a run through the cross to the infield. This is actually going to mess him up. Okay, he will be able to start this lap. So there we go.
Yeah.
So
he's still stuck on his time that he got before that first spin is his best, but this is really going to be his last chance to improve.
14.023 was his best time previous. Does that improve him any? Does not. 14.054 consistent. So your fast time right now, 13.665 for Max Olmstead. Kevin Brooks, 13.769. Corey Adams, 13.811. Zach Brady, 13.914. And a 13.951 for Eddie Fosnight. Eddie Fosnight having a good qualifying run. Congrats to Eddie.
And we haven't seen Eddie here in a few weeks back. He travels around and runs a bunch of stuff. But
he's another one. He's like Kirsten Hammer, and they're old friends out of the old quarter midget ranks.
Yeah.
That they hang together. Johnny Weaver, a few of the others that have been with us here recently. And he's Hammer just had a major turnaround for this season. Fosnight all over has been running the racetracks and doing quite well.
And here comes this third wave, and Tori, we're going to start seeing bumping here in this group because now we're going to eclipse that 18-car mark.
Yep. So we'll keep you posted on what the bump time is going to be. Again, top 18, lock into the starting field.
So far out in this third group is Kristen Hammer.
Yep.
In there. We have the
Bill Bartholomew's number 115B.
The 8 of Kenny Hacker. Here comes your guy Cooper.
There we go. And this one, Travis Cooper, I keep hoping to get something come his way because he just seems like nothing but everybody's grief and maybe a little bit of his own. But still, see what he can do in the orange number 27 here tonight.
Yeah.
This is another shocks me up in the top 5 in points. That's James Vanover in the 9V having a good year in these Legends cars.
He's a guy that's just getting so close to getting his Speedrome first career feature win. Been fast.
In the Legends.
In the Legends. But consistent, though. Getting some great finishes along the way. Dalton Connor out there in the 20. Look for him to contend for that fast time. Tyler Lawton out there, his second season here at the Speedrome. And Landon Hoffman out there in the 81H.
Yep. So this is it. Bump time right now is a 30. Changing right about now.
They've just now all took basically their first sort of warm-up lap, and they're going to start picking up speed here this lap around.
Here we go. $14,244, $14,179. Alex Phillips. It's going to keep going down. Alex Phillips right now on the bubble, 14,179. Uh-oh. Aiden Roth now on the bubble with a 14,173. Aiden Roth, number 56 machine right now. Last car locking in, 14,173 is the bump time. Got to beat a 14,173. Remember, you got to beat him, not tie with him. And still another batch to come. Roth hanging on.
Yeah, still only about a half a second between first and 18th, so really tight there.
Yep, Aiden still hold on to his spot.
So far, 24 cars taking times.
Yep. Usually I'm watching the track all over. Now I'm watching. There we go. Kenny Hacker now sitting on the bubble, 14,158. Roth is out of the starting field.
White flag out, so last time for these people in this group to add a time to their list.
And Cooper spun there in turn 1. We'll do a Speedrome yellow.
Checkered flag is out.
Hacker on the bubble with the 14,158. The Speedrome yellow with Cooper there stranded. I think it might be the case. I don't know if he can't start or if he's actually looking at that tractor tire and figuring he can't turn.
Okay, at the top of the board, we still have Max Olmstead, followed by Kevin Brooks, Dalton Connor, Corey Adams, and James Vanover. That's your quick 5. But down in that area, Tori, it's very tight around that 18th spot.
Yep. Well, we got 14,158, the current bump time. Abe Puckett is in at a 14,094. Tim Skinner, 14,093. Douglas Vanover, 14,064. Braylon Etter, 14,023.
That's sort of your 5 that are in the risk zone right now. They're technically, tentatively in the field right now, but this last group, if they're going to move higher, those are the folks that are going to get bumped out.
This should be about the last Legend cars to make their way in the field, so pressure's on. Again, these guys will still have a chance to come in through the B main.
Yeah, and those times are going to be important for that lineup of the B main. So still, if you end up 19th fastest, you're going to get a chance to be on the pole there for the B main and try to race your way in. And that's going to be a 20-lap event, so plenty of time for those folks in the B main to settle out those last transfer spots.
And this is going to be Nathan Arthur in the 81. 01. I did not get a chance to chat that one up in the 01 machine.
Benzenbauer, Matthew Benzenbauer.
Oh, your man Benzenbauer. Okay.
Yep.
Benzentunney. Yep. The 33 of whichever Dickey we got. I believe it is. We had decided that it's Colin tonight. There we go. Xavier King, your current points leader in the division, the 84.
He's going to be one contending for that top time.
Yeah, technically now he doesn't even have to take. He could actually sit out the qualifying. Yes. And go in as provisional if he wanted to just easy peasy into it.
Yeah, but he's not going to play that game.
John Robinson, the number 19.
He'll be fast. Garrett Fox in the 85. He'll be a contender.
Johnny Weaver, my man, in the 24. So
he's fast. He'll be a contender for that top 10 or so.
Yep. So here we go. Bump time right now.
Literally, darn near all this folks in this group could make their way into this top 18. There's a lot of talent out here in this final group.
Yep. And so here we go. It's Hackers 14,158.
We'll see if he can hang
on the bubble. So far it's up. There we go. Tim Skinner's on the bubble now with a 14,093. Doug Vanover's on the bubble. Nathan Arthur now on the bubble, 14,056.
Yeah, they're clocking in some times and moving some things around up here.
Braylon Etter on the bubble now with 14,023. We may have an all 13 sub 14 time to make it into the field. Eder right now, 18th fastest. Nope, Danny Adams now in the 54 machine, the tribute machine to Wood himself there.
3.5 tenths separating first through 18. 3.5 tenths.
14.003 is the bump time.
Currently Eder on the pole of the B main right now.
Yep.
Garrett Fox up to second overall.
Watching the last few attempts here, closing chances here. Sweat and time for Danny Adams. 18th at a 14.003. White flag coming out.
This is like a race story. This is exciting.
Adams in the Drake Woods Memorial car, the one who we are honoring here tonight, sits on the bubble to make the field. Adams, not even known for being a legend car driver, by the way.
No, that'd be a good story. They're getting the last spot in the Drake Wood machine.
And I think that's it. Last shots there going across the line.
Got about 4 or 5 cars left here to cross the line. And here comes the last one.
Weaver.
That'll do it.
Danny Adams bumps his way, is in the field. Danny Adams, 18th fastest qualifier, makes it in.
Nice job there. Overall, up top, Max Olmstead, your quick qualifier, followed by Garrett Fox. Logan Anderson, third fast.
Third quick. Good
nice
run
job
for Logan Anderson.
Kevin Brooks and your point leader, Xavier King, that's your top 5.
Dalton Connor, Corey Adams, James Vano, Johnny Weaver, Kristen Hammers into house. Landon Hoffman makes the field. Zach Brady, Ed Fosnight, little Eddie Fosnight is in. Ashton Morello, Billy Bart Jr., Johnny Robbins, Chase Pinrod, and Danny Adams, your 18th qualifier. Those cats are all in. Everybody else to the B main.
As they used to say, by looking at that B main field, that could be a main event anywhere here in the country.
Is.
We've got a stellar A and B main field here today. That's amazing. The street stock practice is going to be sort of a letdown
I'll tell
Tori.
you. No, I don't know. They got a couple guys to give us something exciting on that one. But congratulations, Danny Adams. Talk about a nice little comeback here.
And in the Drake Wood Memorial 54 in the Drake Wood car.
Yep.
Good stuff. So we got what we got left here, Tori. We've got the street stocks.
Street stock qualifying, and then one final practice session for the figure 8 cars.
And then you're going to speak with our man,
We're going to get Eric Hodgkins in here. Yep.
We'll talk to him just after that. We'll stay on YouTube for that.
There you go.
For that
Thank
interview.
You.
And good
news
to see Eric
on
here.
that one. So all you folks up there on the East Coast guys, chance to chime in. All our maniacs. I know we've got a couple over the years we picked up out of Oxford, plus some of our fans out there in that. Some old ice lovers and Riverhead people. Seekonk, I think, still going at the figure 8 there on occasion.
Shelbyville Auto Parts Street Stockers out here for their final tune-up for the afternoon. These times are important for them as well, as this is their hot lap qualifying. Then whoever's fastest here will draw an invert for tonight's 30-lap main event. Again, Kevin Brooks, the point leader and the man on a hot streak. Won him a bunch of races so far.
Rex Cox right now the fastest. Kevin Smith, though, is the one we're going to.
Cox is the one that's been just right there. A couple of runner-up results so far in the 2025 season. Been very fast.
And we are up on track tune for those of you that like to listen into the PA announcers. Yep, Cox has very much been the bridesmaid here in 2025. And I tell you what, so much so, he's already got a wine list prepared. He's
booking reservations.
Yeah. Well, he's always being stuck there putting the showers together. Can't quite be there for the...
Last time out, he got to race with his dad, though, I think, for one of the first times. So that was pretty cool. Smith has won the last 4 features. Jordan Gonder won on opening night, and then it's been all Kevin Smith since then.
The all Kevin Smith show.
But you talk about Rex Cox. He's been on the podium 4 times this year in 5 races. So, I mean, what's a guy got to do here to get to victory lane? This kid has been fast and right in the hunt every single event. So he's going to be a happy camper when he finally does get that first feature win of 2025. Another one that's been tough all year, Scott Keene. Scott's been on the podium 3 times so far this year, including being the runner-up last time out.
I know. It's getting scary. He's up there in top 5 in points and steady runs for Scott Keene. It's almost scary, you know.
Scooter.
Drawing for the invert. And what they draw?
They drew a 13, Tori.
13.
Let's take a look back here on timing and scoring and see what we had during that practice. Let me see who was 13th. It looks like...
Did you pay for the extra good version? Oh, man, I got the cheapy version.
Fosnight.
Eddie Fosnight's going to be on the pole?
Yep, Fosnight.
Eddie Fosnight on the pole of the Drakewood Memorial. Boy, a tribute to a young man and a young man on the front row.
Looks like Fosnight, Brady, Hoffman, Hammer, Weaver. That's your top 5 starters.
I'll tell you, got a couple,
unofficially there.
Some more of our quarter midget crowd, too.
Good stuff.
Neeser K saying hey. As we're getting towards the end of the freebie YouTube feed now, we will be staying live through the figure 8 practice and special meeting with Eric Hodgkins coming up. Fast time so far in the Stalkers, 14.402 for Rex Cox. Simsey, not too bad in that first session, 14.517.
And he's been quick this year. Remember, he was the fast qualifier at the Toby Eads Memorial.
Adamson's one I think is going to sneak in and get him another win here this year. He just needs to get everything covered, and we got to find some way to fend off the Kevin Smith juggernaut. We put him on the tail end. Boom. Doesn't slow him down any.
Yeah, the former champion here in the Stalkers and the Roadrunner division has been on a rail so far this year. Looks like tough luck for Kenny McDonough there in the infield. Seeing him out of there. Henry McDougall Jr. out there. I haven't seen Senior back here for the second round.
No, after smacking the wall, I think that took some damage there. We saw the smoke coming out of it. I'm wondering if he possibly had smacked that rear tire in a little harder than you would want to.
Yeah, might have tweaked the rear end or something on that.
That'll shove an axle in and break a seal.
Yeah.
And you don't need that leaking all over the place on this cold, damp day.
Nope.
Good news is, ladies and gentlemen, if you're thinking about coming out, I'm looking to all kinds of puffy clouds all over the place. What have the man been saying?
And less of those clouds as well.
Yep.
I was actually seeing blue sky up there.
Blue sky. So plenty of time to make it out here to the racetrack. Scheduled to go with racing starting at 3 o'clock. Racing started at 3 o'clock. Going to go through this practice here to about 2:40 or so. Stay live on our YouTube feed there, freebie YouTube feed, for a bit longer, Miss Neeser K, so don't forget that. And, of course, we will be on the pay-per-view at speedrome.tv all evening long or all day long. Game plan is get all these races in and get you home time to watch the Pacer game here this evening.
Hopefully we can hear them play the old recording of Slick, Turn Out the Lights, the party's over at the end, which means it's a good one.
Maybe so. Now, I never did get warned about. I had to slow down using the boom, baby, but I've been known to toss that one in once in a while. But I did get in trouble once a couple of years back.
Yeah, this would be the proper day for it, though. I do.
There you go. I think they may drop the copyright requirements.
Ask for forgiveness later. That'll do it. It looks like here for the
Stalkers,
Shelbyville Auto Parts Street Stocks. Kevin Smith goes to the top there at the end over Rex Cox and Scott Keene. Those 3 drivers that we were mentioning had all the podiums so far this year are right there up top, and Adam Simpson and continue to improve Kyle Summers up there in top 5. Good to see that.
Big turnaround there. And final practice here for the Outlaw Figure 8 cars coming up. Again, for those of you just checking in, they are running in the reversed Figure 8 direction, meaning they'll basically swap the turns and which end of the track things happen. It does mean an adjustment for the drivers there, and for the track itself, we adjust the lights as we're doing right now. It's in the track route to make sure the lights are facing the right direction for the drivers. One of the big changes is they'll be coming on the approach. What is now turn 1 is where that truck is over there changing the lights. That is now turn 1 up there. Works his way down to headed easterly there, and it's going to swing around what is now going to be turn 2, and then they'll angle up there. Turn 3 is over there where the Hoosier Lottery tent is at. There you go. So Hoosier Lottery, they're going to be coming right at you here for this hot lap session. And so if you folks want a heck of a seat to watch that one happening, you can head on over to the Hoosier Lottery tent there and get a couple of scratch-offs and check out the cars coming right at you. And they'll swing on around. They will go past that marker and then cross the start-finish line. They see angled on the straightaway. So keep in mind that's significant. That first line you see approaching the marker, that is the beatbox start line for the oval races. The actual start-finish line is still the same one, angled up from my booth here towards the middle of the track. that marks the start of the straightaway. That is going to be their finish line, start-finish line, so they'll have to come around the tire to wrap up the run.
Yeah, so as opposed to the start-finish line being at the end of the straightaway, it's actually at the beginning of the straightaway, which is totally the opposite of normal. And a lot of things are definitely not normal in the reverse direction night, and you'll see a lot of interesting and exciting things happen in the reverse direction figure 8.
We already saw basically it's between the track being green, track being slight damp, times were down by about 0.2 or so.
But they improved each lap that went by. During the first group, maybe they were 5 or 6 tenths off, and then it got down to being a couple of tenths off. So
a lot of the weepers are now disappearing. Track definitely in much better shape. Now Charlie Hargrave's out in his number 74, the 32 of Anthony Sloan, the 03 of Ricky Schaefer, the 0 Julian Lepedo, and I don't see a lot more coming to the gate.
Well, and also in this second round, you're going to see some of these drivers scuffing in their 2 tires. It's a maximum of 2 brand new tires. You're not required to buy new tires, but the most you can buy is 2 on a night like this, and put those into impound, and they were released after the first practice session to the teams. So now some of these folks will be scuffing this in the final practice.
So it started out during COVID as a way of dealing with a tire shortage that we were facing in the racing world and the rest of us as well. Thank you, Mr. Biden. But anyways, during that, surviving that one.
And it ended up being a great thing. It's become a cost-cutting measure for these folks, sort of regulating them from themselves, where guys go out and spend way too much money on too many tires. We're sort of regulating them, keeping them from them hurting themselves by doing that, and that's helping the racing also as well. Again, today, for the first time this season, these times during this practice session do not mean anything as far as their starting position for the feature. Tonight, what they're going to do, since there's no heat races, they're going to line these folks up by their average finishing positions so far during the season. So it's going to take a guy like Jeffrey Shackelford, who's won a couple of races, being probably the best average finish, probably be the tail car in the starting lineup, and so on and so forth, go from there. So it's going to be a handicapping sort of situation for the start, as sort of reminiscent of things we've done in the past. So that's going to put those folks up front that's had the tough luck so far this season. So it's going to be interesting to see how that works today. And 75 laps, still plenty of time for those to get from the back.
And footnote once again, Ricky Schaefer once again doing pretty good out there, 17.8.
He might end up being one of those guys that says, hey, let's run this direction every week. And you do that. Every time we have reverse direction, you'll see a couple of guys say, man, I wish we'd do this more often, because it just turned their season around, literally.
Final practice session out on the track right now. Let's see. So the last driver to register was number 20, Dalton Connor. He receives a special $100 from the crossover? Oh, man. Where did Josh and Mikey get that kind of money? I'll tell you.
Panhandling does well these days.
I guess so. And the fast qualifier with the K Barbershop, $35. Scott and I over here keeping track of the special awards, and he's been working all week long.
And to mention those 18 folks that locked into the starting lineup already just got $54.
Yep.
Right now. Let alone what they're going to get from their purse. There's $54.
Sure appreciate Rhonda Wood and the good folks at PJ School of Cosmetology.
Yeah. So
I don't think we've ever given a PJ School of Cosmetology sponsorship shout out there, but do appreciate the support that the racers, she's given the racers with that one.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of great folks have come on board for this Drake Wood Memorial. We'll mention all these sponsors when we get a better time to do that as we get closer to the race. We'll mention them before the B main and after the B main, and during the races they go along as well.
Yep.
And recognize those folks that have helped us out. And every bit of this money that they contributed to the Drake Wood goes directly to the drivers. Not a single penny of it stays here with the track. So if they contributed $33 or $54 or $100, every penny of that goes to the drivers and will be in their paycheck at the end of the night.
No matter how much I might wish it otherwise.
Yep.
So always remember to tip your announcers, ladies and gentlemen. We'll say nice things about you. Just give that noticed before the start of my county fairs, the demo derbies. Yep.
Sometimes that works for you.
It does. It does. You'd be surprised.
Okay, we might have 3 groups of the Outlaws, the way they've split them up here with the timetable, because we're a little ahead of schedule.
I'll tell you.
So they've probably split them up and give them a little bit more room there.
Corey Harmon in this group. Dylan Douthit in the number 21, the 83 machine of Manny Aguilar, G4. Donnie Garrigus the 4th, back in the house. Up, guess who made it in time? Well, let's double check now. I don't see. Oh, wait a minute. I don't think that is. That might be Jessica Bush in the number 51 machine. Check it as.
No, I'm just getting a note from one of my pit reporters that is Dalton Connor.
Dalton Connor in the 51. Now look how low. Lee Schwartz is perhaps one of the tallest racers we've ever had. I think he's even taller than Doug Gregg. And Dalton Connor sitting right there. Well, the head is completely inside the roll cage. We don't get that with Lee.
Yeah, plus we don't have that traditional orange helmet that we could see from a mile away.
Exactly. So Dalton Connor filling in 51, first time behind the wheel of that car. Proving he can be bad, fast, anything he does, but he does have to get familiar with the car that's totally set up for somebody else. So, and I wonder if they had put some little blocks on the pedals where he could reach them.
You know, and they're pitted right beside each other, so it was probably a deal where they said, hey, can you shake this down for us, you know, and go from there. And, you know, maybe it'll turn out if Lee can't make it in time that Dalton may even end up driving it, you know, but we'll see. Not a bad shoe to put behind the wheel there. Dalton, who won the Wayne Arnold Memorial on opening night.
Jesse Tunney in the 57 on the track. Did I get everybody mentioned now? 27 to Christopher Gray. Cannot forget another fellow who's been supporting us there all season long.
Last year's Rookie of the Year.
Yep.
Again, these folks looking to get up to speed. Still Ricky Schaefer across as the fastest from that first group. These drivers just now starting to turn in their hot laps.
Don't forget, if you are checking us out, wherever you may be, especially on the YouTube, make sure you get a subscription to that one so you can always be updated. Plenty of stuff there on the Speedrome page that you can check out and take a look at. Again, the game plan is to stay live here and have a chat with Eric Hodgkins at the end of the figure 8 practice. So, I'm waiting for some sort of challenge on the speed charts as Harmon pulls off in the 17. Especially Jesse Tunney, 17.9 and change there for Jesse Tunney. Definitely not up to the pace he'd like to be. And I think as Scott called it earlier, he's actually is out here basically on a scuff session more than anything else. So.
Yeah, Lee last time out got the car banged up a little bit there in the 250, so he did a lot of repairs. So since he's at work today, since it got moved to Sunday and he's going to try to come later, this is actually the first time the car has been on track since those repairs. So it's a good thing to put a driver in it to run some laps and sort of give a little feedback here before the Lee goes in cold here later in the day. So the interesting thing that we'll see is if Lee, for some reason, can't make it in time from work, whether they put the car into the field or not.
With Dalton. Well, technically, Dalton will have now. I guess if they are taking this as qualifying run, like we have.
Well, these times don't count.
Oh, okay.
Because we're doing the ranking deal today.
Ranking deal. Okay.
Handicapping. So.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and Dalton would have one of the better averages, so he would be at the back of the field anyway, even whether he runs or not.
Yep.
Because we're lining them up by their average finish.
Right,
and remember, he won on opening night. He finished third in the 250, and so he's got some good results.
Yep, so he'll be starting to tail in where Schwartz had a couple good finishes, but he'll be about mid-pack.
Yeah.
For Schwartz.
So we're going to leave it as Lee Schwartz because that's the intention of him coming to run today, and if for something changes that, they'll alter that from there.
So Schaefer, Hargraves, and Jesse Tunney right now, top 3 in speeds, and it's still Schaefer top the charts.
Yeah, and Christopher Gray fourth, and then there's Dalton Connor in the Lee Schwartz machine, the fastest, a car he's never sat in. So
then if it is indeed the case they're all just scuffing in tires, that's one thing.
Yeah, and we got one more group to go. There's I believe 18 or so 18, 19 cars that were signed in so far. So we'll send out another wave here.
Now, I do have an interesting footnote. I just noticed these cars are pulling off to the quote-unquote what's now the backstretch. The start line has each car is equipped with an electronic transponder, and sends that signal picked up by receivers located inside the track surface itself. And the one for the figure 8 track significantly basically goes from the wall and picks up signals all the way up to onto the infield about 10, 15 feet.
Yeah, even though you see the painted stripe there during the straightaway of the figure 8 course, like you mentioned, it continues, even though it's not painted that way, all the way across to the oval wall there.
Which could make it interesting. If you want to try coming a big swing, if you're coming down to a big close finish, make a big swing off of that final turn. Just go straight. Unfortunately, we got a track truck right there.
Well, but also it's a longer distance to catch the line there.
I realize that.
So, you know, it's an interesting thing.
But you don't scrub off as much speed. So we can, Bobby Whitaker out for practice. That never, we don't ever see that around here.
Well, you know, Bobby is going in the reverse direction, so he wants to get a little shakedown here since there's no heat today.
Yeah.
No heat race to compete in.
Matt Smith in the 87, Ben Tunney in the 5. Whitaker is number 31. 91 of Chad Sizemore, 22 of Troy Hughes, and the 28 of Jeffrey Shackelford, and the 3 machine of Kevin Brooks already getting close to the crossovers.
We're up to 20 Outlaw figure 8 cars that have signed in today.
There you go.
Looks like the only 2 not jumping out right here is possibly Dennis Sloan.
Yeah, we've not seen Dennis at all today.
Yeah, and then we're missing one more out there. No, that's it.
Okay.
Yeah. Because we've had 19 take a time so far. We'll see how this shakes out as Schaefer still atop the standings.
I'll tell you.
Pretty impressive. And, you know, Schaefer might not have that bad of a starting spot here this afternoon.
No.
As the seasons went on. He's had some good finishes, but not, you know, super great finishes. So his starting spot might be pretty good. Be interesting to see when the lineups come out here in a little bit.
We're on the tail end of tonight's hot lap session. Again, get Eric Hodgkins back up here in the booth. He's ready to go. Thank you, sir. Scott and I on top of it. Whoopsie. As Matt Smith does a little bit of a humpy over the marker. And that's going to be another factor there. Making that left-hand turn to wrap up your lap has always got an extra place you goose it. Yeah. And you got that marker right there.
Well, and I find, too, on these reverse direction races that there's 2 good lanes of running, where normal nights there may be just that one good lane in the corners. But since it's sort of unusual, you have guys slipping up a little bit and guys being able to cut underneath of them. But it does make it a tighter pinch around that corner right there. So that's going to be a place to watch here tonight.
Chad Sizemore, new Fast Cat, 17.606. Jeffrey Suckford, 17.651. Ben Tunney, 17.739. Poor Ricky down to 4th quick now.
Yeah, but I tell you what, just being competitive with those guys that have won a lot of big figure 8 races is very impressive. Because, you know, you look at the top, Chad Sizemore's won the 90-minute race. He's won the 1 hour. Jeffrey Shackelford's won both those races as well. Ben Tunney, of course, a 4-time world figure 8 champion. So, you know, that's nothing to shake a stick at.
And Shackelford definitely gives it in that heady territory, 17.391 for his final run. So it is possible to do a bit of a bonsai goose-it run.
Well, and again, a lot of these guys scuffing in those tires, so they may have ran a few like 75% speed laps, you know, and then he ran a real hard one there at the end to get a last burst on that.
I think that's going to be...
White flag out.
Yep. Last few practice laps going on right now. I wonder if Sizemore's got one more goose for us here. Nope, coming into checkers. Let's see. Sizemore with that 17.606. I don't think he can get down that 17.3 territory no matter what he gooses right there. Did not even improve with 17.651.
Our final car across the line there is John Hargraves Jr.
Hargraves gave us a 17.869. That's actually a very good lap for him considering the way his season's gone.
Yeah, upper half of the field there.
Yep. In fact, let's see, Hargraves.
Look at the rookies right all together.
I tell you.
Schaefer and Hargraves and Brooks right there in this close in speeds.
And that's going to wrap up our practice session here for the day. Before we go, we got a special guest on board. Let's get you set up there. Yep, put it on. Just you get to play. There you go. You can hear it in the ears. Can you hear?
I can.
There we go. Eric Hodgkins, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back.
Glad to be here.
I tell you, and look, you can get good seats tonight.
I know. It's definitely my favorite place on earth. It's got me crying. I should have brought the car. Wish I had brought a car and gone racing. So
now, a bit of background for folks at home didn't know. Eric is a racer out of Auburn, Maine. And used to race, and I guess used to race or still racing. I didn't know if you guys were even open yet this year for Oxford. They no figure eight though for you guys anymore. And what's going on?
We were trying to bring it back, but probably next year we'll bring it back and race a few races for fun, not for points. But hoping to bring it back just for fun.
Well, we tried to do the math, and I don't think our guys can afford to drive out to Oxford with their Outlaw cars. So sorry about that.
Yeah. Well, I got two of them, so if they want to,
you got yours. That's true.
Drive, they can hop in one. So
now, how would you describe the level of cars that you run regularly up at Oxford? Their weekly show would run.
They're like a modified street stock.
Okay.
So we took a Pontiac Le Mans wagon, cut it down to 98 inches, and
Le Mans wagon.
Yeah.
Okay.
And went for it. So
mom's wagon there.
Yep.
was your race car. Okay.
Yep. Yeah, and that's the car I won the championship with, and I've won more races in that car, and I brought my Outlaw out there and suffered woefully, just too much power, too much car. So we went back to the old wagon and did very well. So that's a plan for next year, is bring back the wagon and
Now,
so
be real excited. I mean, what brought you out here to Indy this weekend, and what's going on?
So my sister lives in Ohio, so I figured I'd come see her.
We're sorry about that. Ohio's okay.
It's not bad. So. I bought an excavator. I got to haul it home. So I figured I'm in the area, so why not come to the greatest place on earth?
So you bought an we've raced stranger things, but okay.
Yeah.
But way cool. We're glad to have you. Look forward to come back and join us again. If not for racing, at least coming on out.
Yeah.
Any plans being here for the 3 hour this year?
I had until life got in the way. So
stupid old life.
I got some medical issues going on, and we're going to be sidelined here for another at least 2 months. Maybe I had planned on doing it this year, but it just doesn't look like it's in the cards, just health-wise.
Okay.
So
all right. Well, it was real good to have you out here. Look forward to seeing you on again. You know where to find me up in the booth here, and rent's cheap. If you need, we'll set you up a sleep bag in the back room there. But
thanks for having me.
You're welcome.
And I'm super happy to be here, and wish there were more fans to watch the sport we love. So
well, we had to call an audible to get what we got out here. So it's what you got to do sometimes is to keep things going.
Yeah.
But nope. Fans, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you once again, Eric. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have a bit of break, finish cleaning up, and Eric, you can go on back to the pits, see your friends, and